They spend their season chasing numbers.
Top 12, top 35. Scrambling for points.
But once a year, we get to throw out that scorecard.
And get ready to rumble in a cage match for NASCAR's finest.
And we're not talking about scrubs.
These are all-stars.
Best of the best. The cream of the crop.
Racing royalty.
Tonight, there's a battle royale.
Under the lights.
In front of the fans. In NASCAR's own backyard.
In my backyard. The all-star race.
When a cool mill's on the line,
All bets are off.
After those doors open and the green flag drops, it's on. Friends,
Stewart takes Kenseth into the wall.
family,
Into the wall goes Kyle. Into the wall goes Kurt.
not here.
Points.
Who needs points?
No points, just cash.
Stage is big.
Spotlight is small.
And only one gets the check.
It's time to separate the champ from the chump.
The fan favorite wins the All-Star race.
they say it's for fun.
I say it's for keeps.
Checkers or records.
Get ready for no holds barred.
Fast and furious.
Take no prisoners action.
Drives deep into the corner.
An old-fashioned throwdown. If your heart's not pumping, baby, check for a pulse.
NASCAR race day is next on Speed.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Welcome, race fans, to Charlotte, North Carolina, the world epicenter of stock car racing. The vast majority of NASCAR teams call Charlotte home, and in the middle of it all sits Lowe's Motor Speedway, the only track deemed worthy to hold the biggest night among all-star events in professional sports. This one is about the pageantry, and most of all, about the fans. A trip back to the roots of racing, a Saturday night shootout for all the money. Casey Kane was voted a fan favorite last year, and he responded with a huge win. The stars are out tonight, so get on your feet and get ready. It is the one, the only, the 25th version of the Sprint All-Star Race. How about this? What an all-star crowd.
Come on. Yeah,
Nicely
man.
done. Hey, is this about the fans or what?
You know what I say?
This is it, baby.
I say, hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. We're in Charlotte, baby.
Hey, well, we got to get the show on the road here.
$1 million to the winner, baby. $1 million. I can't wait.
Awesome. I love it.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Glad to have you along with us. We have beautiful sunny skies right now, and you know what? It is All-Star Night in Charlotte, North Carolina at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It just doesn't get much bigger than this. So before we get going, we got to take a look at some of the business. Let us look now at the format for this All-Star Showdown for $1 million, because it is different this year than it's been in years in the past. Let's take a quick look at segment number 1. It is 50 laps, green flag pit stop at lap number 25. In between segment 1 and 2, there's a yellow flag when teams can opt to pit, or maybe they can opt not to pit. The second segment is 20 laps, and between segments 2 and 3, there will be another yellow flag. The third segment, 20 more laps between those segments, and segment 4, there will be a 10-minute pit stop, and then the fourth segment is for all the money. Where you finish in the third segment is where you start in the fourth, and that is the 10-lap shootout for $1 million. It doesn't get any better than this, because all these all-stars of racing, well, they got their starts on Saturday nights under the lights, Jimmy.
I'm not the smartest guy in math, but
No.
that means that's $50,000 per lap.
Not bad.
There's going to be some wrecks for that. For 50 grand.
I think you'd wreck your grandmother for that.
50,000.
Hey,
I think,
Spence,
right?
I got to tell you something, race fans. You know what I'm loving about the start of this All-Star race? We got the All-Star race. We have the Showdown before it. But I love the lineup. Right now, if you look at the lineup, you got guys like Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart in the back. But up front, you got Jimmy Johnson. You got Kurt Busch. You know they're going to beating and banging, you know. So I think this is a great lineup, and it's a great start to the.
And you know what we have that's more important for this race?
What
The
is it?
fans.
Oh, it's
yeah.
all about them.
Hey,
A quarter century of racing here in this All-Star event.
And Spence,
and the thing is, though, is that it's not $50,000 a lap. It's $100,000 per lap for 10 laps. Now, I'll tell you what, the best I've ever seen here was the late Dale Earnhardt. I watched him pin Mark Martin down here. I watched Casey Kane last year just take and say, hey, I was only running 3/4 throttle. You know who's going to win this thing tonight? Kyle Busch, the M&M's car. He's a wild one. $1 million. He's going to crush them M&M's and crush the field, too.
Jimmy, maybe you want to stick
That's
to the
good.
commentating and leave math to somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good
All right, that's my advice for
I want to
Spencer.
buy that.
And my advice to you is to stick with us over the next 3 hours. We got all kinds of great history stories for you. And also, we have Wendy Venturini and Hermie Sadler up high atop of the pit lane to bring us all the news from inside the garage. Wendy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Yeah, a wonderful day here in Concord, North Carolina. Hermie Sadler and I, 20 feet high atop the pit road. We're sporting our all-star colors. Hermie, this is really a race. You either bring home the trophy or you bring home your steering wheel.
No question about it. And you can tell by the mentality of the drivers since we've been here. No points. All the drivers are loose, happy-go-lucky. It's all about winning. Like you say, no pressure to perform for the points. I mean, the driver's tone sets it all, and it is about the fans, and they will put on a great show for the fans tonight.
Now, 18 cars already into the All-Star for tonight. We have 3 more spots available, and that's where the Sprint All-Star Showdown comes into play. 3 spots. It's 2 20-lap segments. Now, the caution flag at lap 20, only the caution laps do count in this showdown format. There's a lot of guys you got to look for. The top 2 finishers will advance into the All-Star race, along with my favorite part, the fan vote winner.
Well,
That's
Wendy,
always a big deal,
The
Herbie.
showdown's always a big deal because you got to finish in the top 2 to advance. But look at this starting lineup. We need to tell the fans, qualifying for the showdown rained out. How'd they line them up? By the appeal that you draw to see the order of qualifying yesterday. They were not able to get on the track, so these guys are lining up where they drew, and it really shook up the lineup, Wendy.
And we do want to add Kirk Shelmerdine and Carl Long will drop to the back of the pack for the start of the Sprint Showdown. There's a lot of guys you're going to look for in the rear there that will be trying to race their way in.
I mean, look here, Elliott Sadler, Jamie McMurray, Brian Vickers, always fast at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. That lineup is going to present an outstanding race. And it's only 40 laps, Wendy. These guys have got to make it to get in the top 2 from starting deep in the field in only 40 laps. Think they're going to be aggressive?
I think they will. The strategy for tonight is really key for these guys in the showdown. 40 laps. Nobody wants to leave the speedway early tonight.
And it's going to have a lot to do with the pit strategy, Wendy. I mean, you know, depending on where you are, if you're back outside the top 15 with 20 to go, you almost have to stay on the racetrack. You cannot work on your car. Some other guys may gamble, come in, get tires and whatever, but the bottom line is only 2 cars out of this showdown are going to advance, and nobody else. It matters. It doesn't matter where they finish.
And we all know how important this fan vote is. Now, remember last year, Casey Kane got voted in by the fans, went on to win the All-Star race. Hey, we know somebody that's been voted in before, our own Kenny Wallace. Kenny, I don't know what I voted for more this week, American Idol or the Sprint All-Star Showdown. I've been on my Sprint phone texting my votes all week.
Wendy, it's one of the biggest things in sports, starting out with American Idol, you know, all the voting, but I'm so grateful that the fans voted me in a couple years ago. But I must say, you know, we had Kenny Schrader voted in, we had Kyle Petty, and now there was this thing going on in the media. People were giving their opinions. We don't know if the All-Star vote winner should be in the race. And then it all exploded last year with Casey Kane. All of a sudden, he doesn't even race his way into the race. He's in the showdown. He finishes like 6th, doesn't even make the race. But guess what? When that sun went down and that track cooled off, Casey Kane stuns the nation, quiets all the media, all the print writers down, and now it's okay for somebody to win the fan vote. Why? Because Casey Kane went on to win it all, and he's in for the next 10 years.
Kenny, you know how they do it on the cable news channels? You know, they have leading up to the election. They have all the pundits out there saying, well, we got actual voting tabulation for you, but there is still time to vote for your favorite driver. Here's the way it looks right now. A.J. Allmendinger is leading all vote getters as of right now. Then it's Joey Logano, David Rudiman, Martin Truex, and also Mikey Waltrip. Now, those are only in alphabetical order. We can't tell you who has more as of right now, but if you want your favorite driver in there, there's one way to do it, and you can still vote by a number of different ways. But if you text in on your Sprint phone, you get to vote double.
Well, and most of the drivers will tell you this. I've been there. They want to be first or second in this showdown, and the simple reason is that takes the fans out. That means their car is good enough to get in this race. We've seen Michael Waltrip get in this race from the showdown and then go on and win the Nextel Sprint All-Star race. I think the key here is these guys, like Hermie said, what are they going to do if they're 15th or whatever? We saw guys last year pit, not pit. That's going to be interesting. To me, the most exciting race is the showdown right now. Then it'll all proceed to the 10-lap shootout, $1 million.
But the great thing about the fan vote is stay tuned to Speed right here, because you know what? We won't know the results until the showdown race is over. So, I mean, when that 40 laps is over, baby, I can't wait to hear the announcement.
Text it again.
Keep voting, you can. 7777.
I'm not telling you guys.
I'm not telling who I've been voting for either, but we have been voting early and often.
How many times can I vote?
As many times as you want, Spencer. Hey, we got great fans out here with us for the 25th running of the Sprint All-Star Race. Keep it right here on Speed. We'll take you right up through the checkered flag.
What would an all-star race be without all-star guests? We've got a lineup chock full of fame, and we'll roll out the red carpet for the boys. Stick around for some driver Q&A. NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. Visit homedepot.com/spring. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning. And by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America banking center.
Welcome back, race fans, to the 25th running of the Sprint All-Star Race. Now, not only has Jimmy Johnson and his number 48 team won this race twice, but they also have an average finishing position of 5th, and no one has an average position better than that when it comes to finishing this race. There's the victory back in 06. Right now, we are pleased to throw it back inside the racetrack to Wendy Venturini and Hermie Sadler, who are sitting by the 3-time series champ himself, Jimmy Johnson.
Well, thanks, Johnny. Yes, Jimmy Johnson joining us here on pit road before the Sprint Showdown, before the All-Star Race. Man, it's a busy day for you, but first off, congratulations. You'll be starting from the pole tonight.
That's right. Last night was great for us. Our guys did a great job in the pit crew competition. Then we came into last night's qualifying, had a very fast race car, great pit stop. Everything worked out well. So we've been working on better engines, better cars, better stops, and it all came together last night. It's nice to do it at home.
You know, you're a 3-time champion. I remember I came to see you in Victory Lane at Phoenix, and I said, congratulations on win number 40, and you went, had no idea it was that many.
No.
But something after Darlington last week really struck me with you in your interview. You said, I tried to get Mark a couple laps, couldn't get him. Then I decided after a couple of weeks we've had, second wasn't so bad. Talk about how important momentum is, even for a team like yourselves, 3-time champions and all the stuff you got going for you. You guys needed to right the ship a little bit.
We did, and last week we had so many things to deal with in the course of the race that the fact that we're sitting in second with a few laps to go, I felt like we'd won the race at that point because we had just a crazy night of issues that took place. And at the same time, I was doing everything I could to get Mark. I got close to him a couple times, and then he'd pull back away. And I knew that we were close on fuel, and I had that good angel, I had the angel and the devil on my shoulder, and the angel prevailed. And I knew just to take care of my stuff and try to be smart. And if I had a chance to get Mark, get it. But when we got to the end and we're close on fuel, it was just no sense in pushing it. And Mark, I did everything I could. Mark was driving away from me.
Now, we joke around about how the drivers, if they really know the format for tonight's race, interesting, the first 50 laps, we really believe, when we talked about this earlier, that most of the teams are going to use those first 50 laps as a test session for next week for the Coke 600. What kind of pit strategy have you and Chad Knaus? Give me all your secrets, please.
Well, you'll love this. Last night, when we were in the media center for winning the pole, I knew not to really say this, but I had to ask, and then it all came out. But I didn't realize that we don't have an inversion this time. I've paid so little attention to the format and what's going on that I didn't realize we didn't have an invert.
Tony Stewart didn't realize it was a 4-tire stop.
We're going to talk to him later.
He should know that. I feel better about my my problem of not knowing, but we'll use the whole night for testing. I was fortunate to be a part of the tire test, but that's during the day. What we have tonight, racing through the different segments and the chance to work on the car, will help us all for the 600. And you know, if you do win this race, the guys that are further back that might be further off, they'll come in and make some big changes over those intermissions and try to learn something for the race.
The storyline for last year's race was Casey Kane got in through the fan vote, was able to get out there and win. Got a question for you. Who finished second last year?
I don't have a clue.
Come on, you got to. I mean.
I don't even know where I finished at the end of that thing.
Well, that goes back to the point that it's all about winning this weekend.
Growing up, my dad had a thing. Whenever we'd leave the racetrack and we're heading home and I'd finish second or something, he would ask me who finished second, and I'd be happy. I'd be like, I did. And he goes, no, who cares? And that fits with this tonight. I mean, who cares who finished the second? It's all about the trophy.
All right, now you look at what you, Chad Canal's 48 team, have done, going for 4 championships. What is this season looking like for you, and what are you guys going to do differently versus the other 3 championships?
Well, every year is different. Last year we didn't have the best cars getting started, and then it had to play catch up. Unfortunately, we were able to test and do that. This year we've had great cars and some other small mistakes, so it's just you're always learning, you're always trying to grow the team and be better and stronger. The engine shop's trying to make more power, we're trying to build better cars, so it's just that natural stuff you do in racing, and I feel very good about our race team, and we're off to a great start. Hopefully we can lock into the chase comfortably and early so we can really focus on what happens in September and on, and just go to work. I mean, it's going to be a lot of tough competition once again, but we're ready for it.
And you have a cool paint scheme next week that your crew chief, Chad Knaus, came up with.
Yes, he did. His dad raced something very similar to that back in the 70s. I think it was 1 year old when they ran that thing, and it's going to look good.
If you don't win in his paint scheme, you're really going to be in trouble.
He's really going to be mad.
in trouble, and I'll have his dad after me too.
Right.
So.
All right, Jimmy Johnson, thanks for joining us here on NASCAR Race Day. Johnny, $2.7 million is what Jimmy Johnson has won. The All-Star leads all the drivers. You and Spence, you could buy a lot of flowers with that money. Jimmy, he gives it to charity. He gives it to charity.
Which is nice, which is a good thing for them to do, because they have basically owned this Lowe's Motor Speedway and the Lowe's car over about the past decade. Now, when it's All-Star night, you bring out the All-Stars, the big guns like Jimmy Johnson. So for us, our personal All-Star is Rutledge Wood. He is covering all things musical for us and otherwise. Rutledge, what's happening?
John, I'm down here in the infield in turn 1. And it's great. Let's go to the stage. Follow me. We're going to get up here. Hey, guys, look at all these people. Montgomery Gentry are up there playing right now, playing all the hits. My Town, no. Excuse me. See, and you just weave through like this. Hey, you having fun? This place is crazy. Now, T-Roy is up there. He's got a guitar that Sam Bass made. Hey, I'm sorry. How you doing? Now, all these guys, they're coming to the speed stage later, John, so you might have to make a little room. But let's just give him a little wave. Eddie! Hey, buddy, it's Rutledge. This is going to be a great time. I wish everybody was here, the All-Star race. We pull out all the stops, and you got to keep it right here because we got lots more. So if you need me, John, you know where I'll be.
We always know where you're going to be, Rutledge, in the middle of it all. And just to clarify, that security guard was there to help Rutledge, not to toss him out. And the guy up on the stage, he didn't care that Rutledge was there. Anyway, we are counting down to the All-Star race. It's the 25th one, a quarter century of racing under the lights at Lowe's Motor Speedway. The Sprint All-Star Race is one of a kind among professional sporting events because of the outcome. It matters, and this race is so big that it even has its own personal NASCAR artist to document the events. Through the years, if anyone's had a good story to tell about this event, it has the eye to capture it all. It's Gary Hill.
My name is Gary Hill, and I don't ever remember life without a race car. It was part of my family growing up. My dad crewed on cars in the 50s and 60s, so I got to love the sport honest.
This is another part of the Darlington magic, the giant crowd that turns a sports event into a spectacle.
When it was time to go to school, I really didn't want to go to school. I wanted to be a racer myself, and that didn't work out. But to pacify my folks, I did go to college and majored in art, never planning to do anything with it. As they say, the rest is history.
Earnhardt may be pushing Bodine. Bodine smoke. Bodak spinning. And Earnhardt goes into the lead.
Fortunately, my work caught the eye of R.J. Reynolds. There were no prints in NASCAR at the time, and they bought the original painting, and they liked it so well they thought that there was a market for artwork in NASCAR, limited edition print, signed and numbered, and it all came together.
One of the most famous moves in racing ever, much less in just this all-star event. The pass in the grass done by none other than Dale Earnhardt, who grew up in Kannapolis, North Carolina, just a couple of miles down the road.
Spence, I know you're a hardcore racer, and I know you're full of talent, but I got to tell you, race fans, for all you people throughout the United States, there's only one man that could pass in the grass, and it was the great one, Dale Earnhardt. And I've seen, and look, those are Dale Earnhardt's tracks still. Look at that. Now, just kidding, okay? But let me say this. You know, I've seen other drivers try to pass in the grass.
Yep.
They're like come off a board like, man, I'm gonna be Dale Earnhardt. I've seen Ernie Irvin one time do it and end up in the wall. It's hard to do what the great one did, Dale Earnhardt.
And a quick note, you know, Dale Earnhardt's going to win his first Daytona 500. And Dale Earnhardt runs over something on the racetrack and cuts a tire down and still finishes 5th.
He's incredible.
He was one of the best, if not the best, there ever was.
Amen to that.
The pass in the grass, baby.
There's a tremendous amount of anticipation leading up to this all-star event. So who better to tell us about anticipating this huge sporting event than our own Booty Barker, who has the Napa good stuff.
We're here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the All-Star race, and it's just full of good stuff. Now, when I come to the All-Star race, I have to use this kind of a test session for the 600. Try to figure out what setup's gonna work, what air pressure's gonna work, just a lot of things that we have to figure out with the race car. But in truth, what the All-Star race means to me is much more than that. When I first came here to Charlotte looking for a job, I stopped at the Speedway, had a look at it when it was empty, and said, one day, I want to work here. Then, once I finally got here, I wanted to be in this All-Star race because the All-Star race has the best, the elite, the winners, and that's where you want to be as a competitor. I think about it when you come out here, you see all of the cars line up on pit road of the best, getting the pictures taken of them, and their paint schemes with fireworks going off. It's very exciting, and I'm not going to lie to you, my ego says, Booty, we have to be there. Then also, when you get into the race, the drivers do things they don't normally do. It's 4 wide, it's sparks flying, the fans on their feet. It's extremely exciting. And then also, just because of that, memories are created here that are created nowhere else. So, while Charlotte, the All-Star race for me, is a test session as a crew chief, as a fan, and a person who loves racing, it's just full of good stuff.
Now, clearly one of the best things about a race at Lowe's Motor Speedway is we get to hang out with our neighbor, Jimmy Spencer. Get to plant some plants and everything, see Kenny Wallace, but you get to stay in your own bed, and these competitors love that.
Oh, it's big. I mean, you know, what happens is everybody comes out, Spence, on like Tuesday?
Oh, yeah.
We have the pit crew challenge, and the people come from what, Alaska? How many? Hey, hold on. Where are y'all from? Who's from out of state? Whoa! Listen to that, Spence. Okay, hold on. One more question. Hey, who is from Charlotte? Oh, my God, nobody's from here. Nobody's from here.
Charlotteans out there. All right, so we've seen some great race fans come up to us throughout this week from Canada, Mexico, and all over the United States. We're glad to have you because this 25th annual Sprint All-Star Race is a one-of-a-kind event, and we got it all right here on Speed. Some very lucky driver will have a million reasons to celebrate tonight in that victory lane after the All-Star event.
What's that? You'd like another flashback? We're happy to oblige. We'll take you on a few more trips to revisit All-Star glory. Wait till you see who pops into memory lane. Coming at you, NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
Brand new car and that brand new sponsor, Jurassic Park The Ride, on board the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet.
1997 is one of my favorite years. It may very well be overlooked by historians because it was the Jeff Gordon, Hendrick Motorsports, Ray Abraham show. I mean, from the drop of the green flag, nobody was going to touch that Hendrick Motorsports T-Rex Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Gordon leads lap number 2 of this final 10-lap segment.
There will be some orders placed for that car.
Oddly enough, Hendrick Motorsports had hired Rex Stump, an engineer away from General Motors. So the car was called T-Rex. Rex, the engineer, designed the car, and it's my understanding that Ray Abraham, the crew chief, directed Rex Stump. He said, you have a clean sheet of paper, design me a car that's completely legal, and make me something that nobody's ever seen before. And indeed he did.
Well, Rick Hendrick, you picked a good one in this kid.
Jeff Gordon wins the 1997 running of the Winston.
Show me the money. How much money did I win, man? This is awesome.
There's the current 24 car. If he is able to pull off a victory tonight, that will be his fourth, and that will lead all active drivers in that category. Now, normally what we do at this point of the show for our Shell Garage Report is we send it into the garage. But as we're about a third of the way through the season with 11 points races down, now we're going to keep it out here on the stage. And for our Shell Garage Report, we're going to put out a couple of topics to our panelists here. And gentlemen, I think the biggest story of the year so far, at least one of them that we all agree about, is that pit road miscues and what's been going on pit road so far has had a major input on what's been going on the racetrack.
Yeah, Johnny, I think the pressure on pit road's phenomenal. So many drivers have missed their pit boxes. You know, crews have dropped lug nuts all year long. We saw Jimmy Johnson get spun out last week at Darlington. We saw Jeff Burton get missed his pit box at Talladega. The pit crews, the pressure is absolutely astronomical, Kenny. It's costing these guys races. Think back to the Biff and Carl Edwards at Texas, losing the race late with a late pit stop miscue.
And a lot of these crew members are putting pressure on the driver to get down pit road real quick because there are gray areas on pit road, and they say that some guys like Matt Kenseth are the best. Now, here's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, yeah, this is what he says. He says, I was trying to get faster on pit road because they say Matt Kenseth. His team kept telling him, Matt Kenseth is really good at speeding on pit road. Junior says, I was trying to do like him and just, you know, missed my pits. So that's a big story, missing your pits.
And, Kenny, there was a pretty big story hit us about 6 p.m. Eastern time last weekend. We were about to race at Darlington.
Well, to me, I think the biggest story this year is Jeremy Mayfield being, you know, shown illegal substance. And, you know, he's been kicked out of the sport indefinitely. And Ryan Newman said something really big last week. Ryan Newman said, NASCAR, tell me what he was caught for. So, you know, I kind of got goosebumps. It makes me nervous to talk about it. But to me, that was the biggest story.
All right, who's the best team so far? Jimmy.
Oh, I think the best team so far is Stewart-Haas. I think back to the 39 car where they were about 3 races in. Now they're in the top 12. I think of Tony Stewart. He's outscored in the last 7 races more points than any other team. Lurking for the win. Right now, the Stewart-Haas team with that Haas-led organization, they, in my opinion, they weren't even in existence the last 3 years. They were there. They were coming to the racetrack. Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman, goodness gracious, these guys have done fantastic.
But what about the driver of the number 18 car? He's the one that's been putting it in victory lane. And I knew I was going to get booed for that. But you have to say, when it comes to wins, that's the best team right now. Because the object is to win, right?
But the team lacks consistency. Yes, they've won, but they're not the team, Kenny, that I believe they're not the team they were last year, even though they've already got the most wins this year.
Okay, listen, all of you are missing the point.
Uh-oh.
The best team this year, out of Batesville, Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen, Mark, the Kid Martin, 50 and a half.
Yeah.
Spence, that means that you can get in the car and race. Because Mark, the Kid Martin, 50. Oh, Teddy says it doesn't mean that, Spence. Teddy Lakaitis, our producer, we love Teddy, and he says you're no Mark Martin.
I can make 2 of Mark Martin, let's face it.
Mark is little.
And you know what, being over 50, there is no truth to the rumor that he drove the entire race at Darlington with his right turn signal on. That didn't happen. We heard that. I don't think too many people got that. All right,
no,
let's move on, Jimmy Spencer, to the biggest disappointment so far in this season. Jimmy, what do you think?
The biggest disappointment, the 88 car. No question, the biggest disappointment, the 88 team. I'll tell you why. Listen to the facts. The only team in Hendrick with no wins. Trouble in the pits. He's missed his fundamentals of pit road too many times. He's missed the pit box 3 times. 3 of the Hendrick cars are in the top 12 in points. The 88 car is not. He has to straighten his act out. Right now, the biggest disappointment for me.
No. The biggest disappointment of the year so far was John Roberts' last joke. Okay, I had to have fun with that.
I have to agree.
Hey, listen, it's sad for me to say this, but the biggest disappointment of the year for me is the Earnhardt Ganassi team. God love them for trying, but from 7 teams to a year or 2 ago, down to 2, Juan Pablo, and Martin Truex. I mean, my gosh, it's like the falling of a great team. Martin Truex, great driver. Juan Pablo, greatest driver in the history of auto racing. These 2 drivers, just 2 teams. I mean, they're running good. But Spence, I mean, you go from 7 teams to 2 teams. It hurts my feelings to see that big Earnhardt Ganassi team down to 2 teams.
And deep down inside, I'm telling you from my heart, fans, I pray that this thing gets on track. The Chip Ganassi, Teresa Earnhardt deal gets on track and comes back strong, because great organizations.
It wouldn't be a race day if we didn't say this, so we got to say it at least once a show. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. This is a very difficult sport. Only 43 drivers get to compete on any given race day. But right now, we're going to throw it down to Rutledge Wood, who is looking for NASCAR's most colorful fan for M&Ms.
You know, when we're looking for M&M's most colorful fan, it's not always the crazy hair or crazy dress. It can be other stuff too, right, Lindsay?
That's right, Rutledge. And I found Dirk down here, and I just had to come check out his bus. It's incredible.
Dirk, tell us about this awesome camper. What is it?
This is a 1949 flexible bus. Love bringing it to the NASCAR races. Get to spend the weekend with my family, eating good food, hanging out. We bring the bar car with us. Place for the kids to watch Speed Channel and play Xbox, and it's just a great weekend. I think this is maybe the coolest bus out here.
And you bought it, restored it, did tons of work, and it's just gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was built in 1949 in Loudonville, Ohio. Carried 29 passengers. It's an inner city bus. I converted it to an RV, and it's just perfect for NASCAR races.
So if you see Dirk down here, you got to come say hi, because we know he is one of NASCAR's most colorful fans.
For those of you who couldn't make it to Charlotte, make sure you register at NASCAR.com/most colorful fan for your chance to be M&M's most colorful fan of NASCAR winner. On the site, you can vote for your favorites, play the instant win game, or upload your own colorful photos for a chance to win a trip to the final race of the season at Homestead, Miami, where M&M's will crown the most colorful fan of NASCAR. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. Be back in a moment with many more of the stars of NASCAR on their special night at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's race number 25 in the series of the All-Star Race. Next week's Coca-Cola 600 here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway is a marathon, but tonight it's a sprint. It's all about special paint schemes, an all-out dash for cash under the lights, and of course, it is all about the great NASCAR fans who have traveled from different countries and all over the United States to be here with us tonight on Speed as we get to witness the All-Star event. Now, this is also all about being fast here, and 2 of the fastest people at the racetrack right now are Wendy Venturini and Hermie Sadler. They've left their desk, ran down to the garage area, and Wendy, who do you got?
I am with Kurt Busch. Yes, this is live on NASCAR Race Day. We are moving from the set on pit road to in the motorhome lot. We'll be back on the set in just a few minutes. We're crazy like this on the All-Star Race. Kurt, talk about your crazy paint scheme, because it's pretty cool and it looks pretty fast this weekend.
And we're loving it. It's the taste protector lid and cap that Miller Lite's coming out with this summer. And so special paint scheme, it's the All-Star Race. This is what reminds me of the All-Star Race, is cool paint schemes like this. So happy to have this on board.
Now the number two has never won an All-Star race. And the only race the number 2 has ever won here at Lowe's Motor Speedway was actually Dale Earnhardt back in 1980. Little stat for you race fans keeping track at home. How special would it be to get your number 2 in victory lane for an All-Star win tonight?
Oh, that'd be great. The Blue Deuce has always run strong at Charlotte. It's a fun track for me, and the team is always pumped up. It's right here in our backyard, and all of our friends, pit crew guys, everybody's here, and we want to do it for them under the lights tonight.
Now, a lot of times we see the best of the drivers, we say hero or zero, bring home the trophy or bring home the steering wheel. So you almost got to watch out for who you stay buddies on this racetrack, because in a week, we're back here for the Coke 600, our longest race of the season. You don't want to make any enemies tonight.
No, that's the cool part about the All-Star Race, is it's all for cash, no points. And then next weekend, it's the whole different opposite mentality of running 600 miles, the marathon type feel. And yeah, if you run into somebody, whose fault is it? Is it 50-50? Things are going to happen. And what's cool about this car tonight is it's not our best car. Best car's for next weekend for the 600. So if we wreck it, we wreck it. But maybe our gold taste protector lid will protect us.
Now, you say you don't have the best car for today. That's for next week, but this is really almost a test session. Those first 50 laps, we've talked about this. What are you guys going to be trying? You and Pat Tryson, do you have some tricks up your sleeve? You're going to take advantage of those 50 laps and then maybe race the last 50?
Yeah, you have a pit stop at 25 laps into the race, and so that green stop, we'll see how it plays out, but really you only have to look at doing 25 laps at a time, and then 20, and then 20, and then who knows what'll happen on the last 10. But I think the segment that's the most important tonight is segment 3. Why is that? Because you have to position yourself for the final segment on, do you want to do 2 tires, 4 tires, or maybe even no tires?
All right, that's an excellent point by Kurt Busch, and of course that last segment, an all-out dash for cash. Who's it going to be, Hermie? It's going to be a tough call. I think you're with another guy vying for that win tonight.
Well, I do have Matt Kenseth, and Matt, you've actually won a lot of races and championships, but where does your 2004 win in the All-Star race stack up on most exciting wins for you in your career so far?
It ranks right up in there. I mean, it was a really exciting race. You know, Ryan, that year, they were so fast whenever they were out front, even if they would get tires or not get tires. And I don't know, he either stayed out or had 2 tires, so we had 4. And he still made me work really, really hard to be able to get by him. So it was a really exciting race. We were able to make a pass right toward the end there and pull it off.
This race, obviously, they changed the format, tweak it seems like a little bit every year. We got a 50-lap longer segment, then 2 20-lap segments. Where do you think you have to be going into that final 10-lap segment to have a chance to win it, based on what we've seen with this car this year?
Well, you never know what can happen with a double file restart. I mean, you never know if there's, going to be a wreck or you're going to get right to lane or whatever. But, obviously you'd like to be first or second. You'd like to be in that front row to feel like you have the very best shot at it. But you never know. Everybody's going to race as hard as they can, and you really want to be in front going into that last 10.
You guys started off with a bang, but obviously last three or four races, you've had decent cars, but not the results. How important can this race, momentum-wise, be heading into the 600 as we get into this long summer stretch?
Yeah, we've had a couple things go bang. The first couple were good. The other things haven't been, quite as good after that. But I feel like we're getting a little bit better. Our cars have been getting a little bit more speed. The last couple weeks have not been spectacular by any means, but we got a 13th and a 10th, and that's a lot better than we've been doing before that, being in the mid-20s or high 20s even. So we know we got to be a lot better than that. The bad news is we haven't ran that good since that first 2 wins, but the good news is we're still not very too far back in the points. So if we can get back to being consistent and being more competitive like we know we're capable of, hopefully we'll be okay through the summer.
Well, JR, he's won it before. I know he can do it again. He qualified 3rd for tonight's All-Star race.
There's no doubt about that, Hermie Sadler. If you are in it, you can win it. Now, we've talked to the All-Stars so far. Those are the ones who are already in it. When we come back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, we're going to talk to a couple of guys who are going to have to advance their way up through the Showdown or the fan vote. Stick around, everybody. We're counting down to All-Star on NASCAR Race Day. Make it a weekend of fun with family and friends at Michigan International Speedway. Sprint Cup tickets start at $40, and kids 12 and under are free. Call 800-354-1010 or log on to MISSpeedway.com for the June 14th LifeLock 400 at Michigan International Speedway. Now, the defending June Michigan winner is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and remember, once upon a time, he also won one of these All-Star races.
The 2000 NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race is one for the history books. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was a rookie. No rookie had ever won that race. He hit the wall coming out of turn 4.
Oh, scrapes the wall off turn 4.
Doesn't seem to affect him at all. The Budweiser Chevrolet still up to speed up off the corner.
He never came in the pits. He still kept his foot in the throttle.
Junior cuts low off of turn 4, tries to stick the nose to the inside of Dale Jarrett.
And late in the final segment, actually passed Dale Jarrett, who was defending NASCAR Sprint Cup champion.
Dale Jarrett digs in down at the bottom of the banking. Left side tires on the white stripe, but he can't hold off Junior, who makes the pass.
Went on to win the race.
The fans are going absolutely crazy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes to the checkered flag and wins the 2000 running of the Winston.
And that race marked the first time that a father and son would go in the record books of having won the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race.
What a moment that was. One of the great all-star memories here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, especially for that family who grew up right down the road in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Now, another young driver who has a chance to follow in the footsteps of Dale Jr. and also Ryan Newman and become a rookie that has won this all-star event is standing by with Wendy Venturini. Wendy?
Yes, Johnny, I'm with Joey Logano, one of those rookies who's going to go for it, try to race his way in with the Showdown and get into the All-Star. And if all else fails, he's going to try and get that fan vote. Joey, talk about this All-Star race. Do you pay attention? We just saw a video about Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning in his rookie year, Ryan Newman winning in his rookie year, Tony Stewart, his rookie season, went out and won the Showdown, raced his way into the All-Star. Does that put any pressure on you?
I got pressure on me all the time, believe me. If that puts more on me, that's different. But that's not a big deal. I'm just here to have a good time today. I think it's kind of cool. It's almost like an off weekend. You're home, you got all this stuff, and we'll see. We're starting 19th, so I got not much time to pass a lot of cars. So let's see what we can do. Hopefully get in the top 2. If not, fans help me out, and we'll see what we can do.
Now, when you talk about, you said have the fans help you out, you're starting 19th. Of course, that's because we got rained out from qualifying. We're starting in the starting order you were supposed to qualify. Have you and Zipadelli talked about the strategy? Because it's a very short race, 40 laps. You have a lot of people in front of you. You might have to worry about what is the strategy for you.
You pretty much got to go. If you think about it, it's like your old Saturday night short track races, you know? You just go, 40-lap features or something like that. That's just... it's kind of like going back to your roots, your old school racing. So it's going to be fun. If nothing else, we're going to have a good time. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting for the fans. Just the tough part is you're going to count cautions too. So the race is going to be really short, especially for me. So we'll see what we can do at the Home Depot Toyota.
Now, last week, awesome run for you. A top 10. You had a top 10 back at Talladega. You really seem more comfortable in this race car and around these guys here. What is it? Is it your confidence that's building up? Because surely it looks like it on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think my confidence, especially from after last week in Darlington, I think our practice here the other day was one of the best practices we ever had. Just me, telling more what I need in a race car, having the confidence of what I'm doing on the racetrack more. I think that just keeps coming along. I think the whole team is getting better, as far as confidence picking up, and Zippy's getting, we're working good together now. So I think everything's starting to click. So we're getting good finishes, we're getting better in points now, and I got a good race car for tonight, so hopefully we can race.
Well, enjoy today. Good luck in the Showdown. And, of course, Joey Logano, 18 years today, 18 years old. But, hey, he'll be 19 the next time NASCAR race day is on the air. The Coke 600 is his birthday. Hermie?
Well, thank you, Wendy. Standing by with Sam Hornish. Now, you did it the right way last year. Went through the Showdown, qualified, finished second, and transferred into the All-Star race, and quietly had a pretty good finish. Does that give you some confidence for tonight?
Yeah, it definitely does. Lowe's Motor Speedway has always been a place that I really liked. Ever since I came here in the stock car for the first time, I've had a lot of confidence here. I like the way that the track runs. You can run a variety of different lanes, and the Mo 1 Dodge was pretty good in practice yesterday. So, we're just going to have to try to take our time, make sure that we keep the car together throughout the first 20 laps, and give ourselves an opportunity to fight it out. We feel like we've got a really good opportunity tonight.
Now, qualifying for the Showdown got turned upside down. Literally, when qualifying was rained out, you guys now starting by the peel you drew to go out. And you ended up 6th, about where you thought you might be based on practice. So you turned out pretty good on that.
Yeah, definitely. We ended up about where we thought we could qualify since it's an impound race, so we didn't want to do too many things to the car to get 2-lap speed. We want to be able to run fast for 20. And, there's a couple cars that were probably a little bit better than us that are going to start back deeper in the field. So we feel like, having an opportunity to start off 6th, be able to see the front of the field and, take our time and not have to feel like we have to pass everybody throughout that first 20 laps is definitely going to be a little bit to our advantage.
It seems like from last year to this year, through the guidance or leadership of Kurt Busch in that 2 car, the whole Penske organization really starting to show some signs. And you guys have bet a lot of competitive cars in recent weeks, and it looks like you're getting closer to being able to contend for some of those wins.
Yeah, we definitely feel a lot better about it. Kurt's been a great leader for us so far. The addition of David Stremme on board. David and I, it seems like everywhere we go, we are almost the same setup as where we end up to start the race out. So definitely that's something that's helped us and him, because when we make changes throughout a race, or he does, we can figure out what works and what doesn't work. And, since we're so close on the cars, we can kind of both head the same direction. And I think that the Penske racing as a whole has been a lot better. The fabricators have been doing a good job, getting good race cars for us. The engine shop has found not only more horsepower, but also better fuel mileage. And I think that, myself and the 77 team have had an opportunity to work together a little bit longer. We built this team from basically Mobil 1 being the sponsor and me being the driver to now we're starting to get all the right pieces of the puzzle in place, and it's been a lot of fun this year. We still are going through a little bit of growing pains, but we're starting to get some of those finishes that we've seen coming for a while.
Well, I don't want to jinx you. We're going to get ready to go to break, but one of the guys on our set, Jimmy Spencer, has picked you to win the Showdown. So he has good luck sometimes and bad luck sometimes, but I'll let you and Jimmy handle that depending on what the outcome is. But JR, he's trying to advance again for the 2nd year in a row to make his 2nd start in the All-Star race.
Hermie, thanks a lot. And why not Sam Hornish Jr.? He can do it like anybody else can, and once you're in it, you can win it. Still to come on this all-star edition of NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, we got Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin, just to name a few. In about 2 hours, coverage on speed of the Sprint Showdown starts here on All-Star Night at Lowe's Motor Speedway. But in between now and then, we have some of the stars of NASCAR coming by to visit us as they make their way to the racetrack to try to find at the end of this race $1 million in prize money. Now, Kenny Wallace may not have found $1 million, but he sure did cash in as he found out in his local Bank of America ATM.
Bank of America is the official bank of NASCAR. Now, Trisha gave me her credit card. Trisha said, hey, I want to sign up and get some NASCAR points. So what she's going to do is she's going to try to earn 2 free tickets to an upcoming NASCAR race. She's also going to try to get a free pit tour and probably see Junior. Woo! Go to Bank of America and get a credit card and sign up for banking to earn NASCAR points. Bank of America, the official bank of NASCAR.
Now here's the question for you race fans out there. Would you give Kenny Wallace your credit card?
Hey, let me...
I would.
I don't know, I would.
I
trust Kenny Wallace.
The bank, they have great protection. When you get a credit card from Bank of America, you know, nobody's going to steal your money, and neither will I. But I might buy Spence a cigar.
Thank you.
You want a cigar, Spence?
Oh. You know what I'm going to do with my credit card? I'm going to buy Rutledge Wood some new hair gel because he may need it before tonight is over. Actually, Rutledge, you don't. You look great, man. And you know, on our little format, it says Rutledge Wood does something funny now. So we're going to toss it to you with that.
Oh, boy, that's a heavy weight, John. Luckily, the rain earlier didn't mess me up too much. Oh, hold on. We had so much fun in the infield. We got spiderweb all over. So I found some of our friends. You guys enjoyed the Montgomery Gentry concert?
Yes, we did.
Do you like Montgomery more or Gentry more? Is it kind of a toss-up?
They're both toss-up.
Okay, that's fair. Now, he's from Pennsylvania. You can tell because there are no sleeves, which obviously means he is a Jimmy Spencer fan. I told you I'd get... So what are you guys more excited about tonight? The burnout contest, the 10-lap shootout, the pre-shootout? What do you like?
I guess all of it.
Burnout.
What about you?
10-lap shootout.
10-lap shootout. Who do you think is going to be in that 10-lap shootout? The players.
Kyle Busch, Earnhardt Jr., Kurt Busch.
Now, who's going to win the first one? What did you tell me?
Well, Tony Stewart's going to win the race.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Okay, that's a fair point. Well, I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. It's just that I got word that Kevin Costner is somewhere here. You remember Tatanka, right? Field of Dreams? Okay, so here's what, you guys just stay here. I'll go get us some sodas or some snacks, and I'm gonna go find Kevin Costner. Let's go. John, if you think of anything to ask Kevin, you tell me, because I'm ready. I am ready to go, my friend.
Hey, more questions about Rutledge, though. That's the problem. Rutledge, have fun in there. We're looking forward to seeing what you come up with later. And you know what? Kenny Wallace has some breaking news out here at the speed stage.
Yes, I do, race fans. I have found this man right here, and he wants to know if Christy will marry him.
Christy, what do you say?
Come on, Christy. You know the man. Right there he is, baby.
He says that she is at home. And I think this must be his, what do you call that, his celebration, because he left her at home.
Hey, on-air proposals are always real risky business. You got to, A, make sure the person is watching, and B, make sure they say yes. Christy, say yes. There is only one city and only one track deemed acceptable to hold one of NASCAR's biggest nights. It is All-Star Weekend here in Charlotte, North Carolina at the home of racing, Lowe's Motor Speedway. You know, when you see the yellow walls, it means only one thing. It's All-Star Night. One thing we do not know is which one of NASCAR's stars will bring home the big money. Could be any one of 21 drivers in the race. Let's take a look at last year. It was Casey Kane, voted in by the fans, who was hoisting the Budweiser at the end of the night. But back in 2007, it was Happy Harvick, Kevin Harvick, who was doing the burnouts after the All-Star event as he took home the big check. And Wendy Venturini is now standing by with a guy who knows that if he is able to repeat, it'll mean yet another big check in the Harvick household.
Well, standing by is a loose term because Kevin Harvick, when I walked up here, he said, pull up a chair. Let's sit down for this one. That's how relaxed this garage area is tonight, folks. Kevin, what is it about the All-Star Night? Racing at night brings out the best in these drivers. It's just a completely different atmosphere in this garage right now.
Well, I think the biggest thing is there's only one thing on the line, and that's to win the race and $1 million. So makes the $1 million makes it exciting, but there's really nothing to lose in going for it. So I guess the biggest battle we have is Hermie being jealous of us that we're sitting in a chair and he doesn't get to sit down.
Yeah, we'll hear from Hermie in a minute, and he is standing literally 3 haulers over. Standing, not sitting and relaxing.
I couldn't tell he was standing up.
Oh, Hermie, you can't even fight back over there. We have the mic. So let's talk about your race car for night now. For tonight, we know you had this crew swap, and everything's working out with Gil Martin. What do you expect out of your race car, and how has it felt yesterday and from yesterday in practice?
Well, yesterday in practice, we struggled pretty heavily. We were really tight getting in the corner. We made a lot of changes. We came here with a lot of different things, you know, because this is kind of the only week that we get to test. So we came with a different front clip. We came with a lot of different aero things on the car, and we've changed those things tremendously. So we'll see how all that works out. And really what we're looking for tonight is a baseline to get started for next week.
Now, around 6 o'clock tonight on NASCAR Race Day, we're going to see the Penzoil Victory Challenge, and drivers like Kevin Harvick are going to show us their best burnout. So have you been practicing for this event?
You know, I actually haven't practiced at all. I heard that the only person that practiced was DW, but I guess he probably needs to practice, and it's a good thing that the event is only 30 seconds long, because otherwise DW could be exhausted by the time the event was over. But I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. You got any suggestions?
No, well, what's the key? I mean, it's freestyle. You should have this. You are the king of burnouts, they say. You kind of perfected this over the years.
So just stick to what I know, is that what you're saying?
I know, but Jimmy Spencer's your judge, so you might be in trouble.
Oh, no. Jimmy Spencer's my judge?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm going to have to destroy something then. I guess if Spencer's my judge, or run into something and make it really exciting, I guess.
Well, just stay off the grass and don't hit the wall, because then you'll get disqualified.
Is the wall a penalty, too?
Yeah, you'll be disqualified.
Well, it'll be exciting regardless, either way.
And we look forward to Kevin Harvick in that Penzoil Victory Challenge. Now let's head over to a standing Hermie Sadler with a guy that didn't even know he was in the All-Star race 3 races ago. Hermie?
Wendy, you're letting your guests get you in trouble. We do not sit down on the job here on race day. Can you believe that, dude?
I can't believe that at all. Man,
I got an idea. Why don't we sit down? If she can sit down, you're a young man, go get you a chair and sit down, and we'll do things like we want to do it around here. I'm not letting her get extra rest on me.
We run this ship.
We'll show them who's in charge. Hey, can you even believe that you're getting ready to run in the All-Star race here at Lowe's Motor Speedway?
I think I'm a little caught off guard, too. Been amazing last few weeks. And really proud of everyone on this Mikasuki Chevrolet team. This is my first time back with them since Talladega, so hopefully we'll have another strong showing, and I'm excited about it.
Tell us about that qualifying. Not a bad effort for your first time out, top 10 start, but a lot going on in that qualifying run last night.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun as a driver to do that qualifying, but just really focused hard, my team and myself included, just not making any mistakes, and we didn't. We had put in a solid effort, no mistakes, and I'll continue to learn, and hopefully next time I get to do it, I'll be a little faster.
We saw at the end of the Talladega race that you're here to win, no question about that. Looking ahead to tonight, when you leave here tonight, what would you consider to be a good night for you tonight?
Just a solid finish where we can grow and continue to learn. The mile and a halves are hard. They're very hard, and I've got a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to learn, and there's no better place to do it than here at Charlotte with the best race car drivers that are in the All-Star race, and I'm going to learn a lot tonight.
And JR, this guy, what a great story. A single car team. He wins Talladega. He's in the All-Star race, starting top 10. How can you say that he can't be a factor tonight? I mean, who would have thought before Talladega, right?
Hey, again, if you're in it, you can win it. When there's $1 million on the line, you don't know what's going to happen, Hermie. And also, congratulations to Brad Keselowski for racing his way into this All-Star event. And we're still full of good news here on NASCAR Race Day. Just in case you were wondering, Christy said yes to the marriage proposal.
Yes.
We have a marriage coming up. All right, we still have so much more to come on this All-Star edition of NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Want to hear what Mark the Kid Martin has to say about this race? Well, stick around. We'll be back in a moment. The outcome of last year's All-Star race at Lowe's Motor Speedway proved to us that anything can and will happen when it's an all-out shootout under the lights on a Saturday night. Kasey Kahne was voted into the All-Star race by the fans, and he did exactly what they wanted him to do.
And this is what we've been waiting for. It's all out. $1 million dangling in front of these drivers. We're going to see hammer down, full throttle racing, no holds barred, white knuckle action. It's going to be a great recipe for a great race here tonight.
Dale Jarrett, his final race. Kasey Kahne said he would rather race his way in, but the fans were able to give him a second chance.
Green flag. You're clear. He's side by side. Brother looking. Corner. Clear. Getting into the corner, it feels like I got a right front bounce. Like it's not wanting to sit down on a bump stop right or something.
Kyle Busch, boy, he is long gone already.
Just a hair too loose. Or just a tiny bit.
I'd rather try it with a little wedge and a little air pressure right now. I want to keep you up front, you know what I'm saying?
Got 10-4, sorry about that.
Shoot to go when you get here. He's still running the bottom. You can hold him off.
As soon as I start to turn in, the right front just drives down the racetrack too quick, too much camber. 10-4, we'll just make that small adjustment in left rear air pressure.
Motor's going, dude. Drop the cylinder, did the same thing, rocker arms done. Just keep digging right there, bud.
Looks like he's just down a cylinder, man. Man, I hate to see them breaking in.
All right, to be you and that 99, the 18 blew up there. Much better on the builds, much better race car, no doubt.
Ford and Chevy side by side for the lead, and it's going to be Greg Biffle on the inside coming away with it.
Kasey Kahne waiting to see which lane opens up.
Here's Denny Hamlin going forward and going to the bottom and going to the lead.
Blown up. We're blown up. We're done.
Take it to the garage.
Great job, man. You gave me a fighting chance, and they were going to have to knock me out to do it.
We have a new leader. Kasey Kahne went out front, getting by Denny Hamlin. Greg Biffle is challenging him.
Good, real good. 4 to go. 30, 50, 60 behind you.
If he goes on to win, it'll be the first time that a fan vote winner has won the All-Star race.
Here he comes, down to the inside of turn 3. Lets it slide to the middle of the racetrack. $1 million payday awaits Kasey Kahne.
Plenty of room there, buddy. Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Thanks to the fans. We didn't even make the damn race without the fans. We'll never have to run that hooligan race again.
And what a great night that was for Kasey Kahne, getting in through the fan vote and winning last year's All-Star race. Mark Martin is now my guest. You won this thing 2 times. About time for another one.
Well, you know, it's we're ready. You know, this team is so charged up, and we're just having a blast. A lot of energy, you know, at the 5-car right now. And you know, this race is about for the fans. It's all about the fans, and it's not really about the guy who can go out and just dominate and win it. It's kind of made to mix that all up and mess it up and have a surprise winner. And that's great for the fans. And it's fun for us, too. You know, as long as you're not the one that it slips through your fingers when you thought you had it.
This race, obviously, is going to come down to the 10-lap dash. Everybody comes down, puts tires on. Everybody's on fresh tires, made adjustments. Where do you think you have to be to start that last 10-lap segment to have a chance to win?
Well, I would really like to start at second. But, you know, it's a double file restart. And you got these, you know, all of us are going to be crazy, looking for an opportunity to do something that's a little edgy. And when you have that, you never know exactly, you know, I mean, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you know, because the guy who looks like he's in a position to get it can either make a mistake or somebody makes a mistake for them, and then it all changes. So it's an all-star race, man. It's about crazy. It's about sparks. You're going to see it, and who knows? It's not one that you can just strategize. A lot of times this thing is won, you know, from a few spots back that you didn't really expect because 2 guys get tangled or one guy blocks one way and the other side gets opened up. A lot of crazy things can happen in that 10 laps.
And last thing, talk real quickly about your race team. Obviously, you guys are on a roll right now, but starting off the season when things didn't quite go your way, you can take 2 choices. I mean, you could have let it get down you a little bit. I know it bothered you, but you guys stayed on course. You knew you were doing the right stuff and eventually started getting those results.
Well, you know, Alan Gustafson really deserves the major credit for all the success that I'm getting to have. You know, it's all really because of him and the team that he's built, the tools that Rick Hendrick has given him, and Hendrick Motorsports supporting him. And that's what 2009 is really about. It's about Alan Gustafson getting the credit that he's due.
These guys have really got it going right now. Mark Martin and crew chief Alan Gustafson really on the same page, and they'll be a factor tonight. And might consider Mark for my fantasy pick. I'll let y'all know later on tonight. Wendy?
Thanks, Herbie. From Mark the Kid Martin to Cousin Carl here. Carl, we've talked about all night long, night racing at its finest. Wreckers or checkers. So how's your car? Because you're going for it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, we're going to go for it. I mean, this is one of those rare opportunities. We just get to race. There's no points on the line, and it's going to be fun. I mean, our Aflac Fusion was fast in qualifying. You know, I think Bob's got it tuned in pretty well, and you know, it's just up there in the Aflac suite looking down on the place and thinking about everything that's going to come tonight. It's hopefully going to be a blast. This race is fun.
Now, the most important question, are you prepared to be a pit road reporter for that showdown on speed?
I don't know if you can ever really prepare for Darrell Waltrip and everybody. It's going to be fun, though. You know, I'm excited to get to be a part of it. The cool part about that showdown is that, you know, there's so much on the line for those guys. I know what that feels like to be out there trying to get a spot in the field. And, you know, I don't know what it feels like to make it in, but I know what it feels like to lose by that much. So, you know, those guys right now are nervous, and hopefully the fans enjoy watching it, and it's a good show.
Okay, so here's your chance to practice before you go. Pitch back to John Roberts or Kenny Walls. Your choice.
All right, well, that's it for us here down in the motorhome lot. Back to you, John and Kenny.
That was good, man. That Carl's
Very
good at everything
good.
he does.
Very good, Carl.
Very
He
well
showed
done.
no favoritism.
I think it was terrible. He never mentioned my name.
I know they put him on the spot though. They said he is going to have to pick one of us. He's going to make one of us mad.
I used to like him. Now he sucks.
He's got the duck though. Man, he especially
rough,
for me.
Carl. Right, before we get, another driver on Jimmy's list now. We got to take another quick break here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, the All-Star Edition. But first of all, before we go, we want to remind you that you have a chance to win $25,000 in cold hard cash, and it's coming up tonight on Speed. It's NASCAR Sprint All-Star Catch the Race, Catch the Cash contest. Just watch the All-Star Race here on Speed, answer a couple questions, and you could win. Go to speedtv.com. Attention all you Digger fans, you can now get Digger on your computer and get free Digger videos, wallpapers, games, and more. Visit digger.ask.com today. And as we get ready to go racing here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, over the years this place has had a few facelifts. One didn't work out too well, another one worked out to the liking of the drivers. So we're going to strap in our drivers here up on the Home Depot stage and take a lap around this place to see just exactly how you get around here tonight. And you got to get around in a hurry because this is a short race. It's a big old sprint.
Well, the big thing about this racetrack is, you're right, Johnny. Next week, 600 miles. Tonight, start-finish line. Here we go down into turn one. Really,
and it might be raining a little bit tonight, too.
It is raining.
It's raining on Bobby Labonte.
And what you're noticing here, fans, the groove is all over the racetrack. There's no bumps on this racetrack. There used to be a tremendous amount of bumps here going down the back straightaway. But you know, Kenny, the key here is get that thing to the white line and get that thing wide open.
And you know, one thing I noticed about this newer car, it likes to run the high side, Spence. So as we ask this Ask.com car, we say, which groove do you want to run better? And my point is this: Charlotte allows you to run anywhere on this white line or up top. And might I add, remember the rain wreck that we had, 5 years ago?
Well, and the big thing, Kenny, is you just mentioned it. That car's looking for a groove. The biggest thing about tonight's race, you will not hear a driver say, well, I couldn't pass him. I couldn't get underneath him. Well, you know what? You can go outside. We saw Matt Kenseth get on the inside of Newman. We saw Dale Jr. pass the 88 of Jarrett on the outside. We saw the old man, Earnhardt, pass Mark on the outside. This track, you got the Kajunis, you can go.
I don't know if we need to elaborate on that any, but you know what? This racetrack used to be known as one of the most weather-sensitive tracks anywhere. Is it still that situation with the new pavement?
Well, I think it's sensitive whether it's new pavement, old pavement. Now, new pavement, it gets more sensitive because it's black like this tabletop. And you know, black really attracts a lot of heat and it really cools down fast. But still, all racetracks, but this one here's legendary. You know, it's been cool all day. I don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of a change.
And
I'm sorry, Jimmy, we said it before that it's a sprint, not a marathon. You got the marathon next weekend. This one's an all-out dash.
And yeah, Johnny, the thing is what I think the fans have to understand, Carl Edwards just said it, it doesn't matter. You're racing for the win. You know, you got 20 laps, 25 laps, you get a break in the first when you have to make a pit stop. So 25, Kurt Busch said it, 20 and 20. There is where you're going to have your car handling. Not 30 laps, what good is it? You're going to have to handle in 20 laps because the bottom line is the last 10 laps, $100,000 a lap. If you take the check and you get $1 million, let me tell you what, Kenny, you put $1 million, you throw a bunch of steaks in a pit of wild dogs, they're going to go after it.
That's a highlight right there. I want to add one thing real quick. Mark the Kid Martin is a bottom feeder. He always likes that white or yellow line, whatever color it is tonight. Sure, it would be yellow. But you know what? The race last year, the All-Star race, was won up top by Casey Kane. So up top, on the bottom, baby, what's it going to be? Flip a coin and make that bet tonight while you're all drinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. That'll be exciting.
Now, here's one of the coolest things about NASCAR racing. I've always thought that you got a $100,000 race car and you make them run better or worse with a 25-cent piece of duct tape. And Herman, you've got more on the tape in our Advanced Auto Parts explanation. Is that oversimplifying a little bit?
No, that's perfect, JR. But let me tell you, last year when they implemented this car of tomorrow, it changed the way the crew chiefs have to address putting tape on the nose of these cars. Now, in years past, with the opening up at the top right here and an opening right here, you always wanted to put maximum tape on the car to get maximum downforce. The more tape, the more downforce. Well, that has changed a little bit with this new car of tomorrow. Take a look. Number one, you have the splitter, that if you let air get up above this splitter, it can cause you a problem if, under here, if you tape this area up here too much, air will come up off this splitter, come up here, hit this tape, and actually push and make lift on the front of the car. You do not want lift. You want to push the front of the car down, not lift it up. So the crew chiefs have really got to be careful as we go through the night. Today, first segment, 50 laps, 20, 20, then 10, they'll want to add tape, but they have to add it at the right place to not cause this front end to lift and create a handling problem. So something to watch today. And you go back to Advanced Auto Parts car at the stage, same thing. You have to tape the bottom. You can see it right there. Tape that red tape. If they tape that car solid tonight and that creates lift, that will heat the engine up that you want to do, but it will also slow the car down. So very challenging environment for the crew chiefs and the drivers to get maximum speed, but not cause handling problems with these race cars. JR?
Hey, Herman, once you get something on videotape, it simply never goes away. And we have one all-star moment that involved you on the racetrack at Lowe's. We thought we'd bring it back up. What do you think, man?
JR, I thought me and you were buddies. What are you doing to me?
Well, we are. I think it was Spencer that was the one who suggested that we show this thing because you always pick on him for being an old guy.
Well, he is an old guy, so I'm not picking on him. I'm telling him like it is. But I thought we were tight. You're supposed to be running the ship out there, and I'm trying to get credibility and do a good show here and talk about stuff, and y'all show me spinning out on the racetrack.
But Herman, you did an excellent job to save it, to keep it off the wall. Minimal.
He hit the wall.
You did digging deeper. You digging deeper.
He hit the wall.
Forget it. I don't want to hear it.
Too much trouble here. We're going to take another break.
I don't want to hear it.
When we come back, we will continue to count down to the 25th running of the Sprint All-Star race. This one is going to be an all-out dash for cash. There you see the car of last year's race winner, Casey Kane's, hoping to go back-to-back tonight.
Smoke sitting pretty, second in the standings and climbing. Wendy drops by the shop to talk business and get the 411 on Tony's season so far.
It's a growing process, and obviously, when you work with somebody like Greg Zippodelli for 10 years and all of a sudden go to a new crew chief, it's a big adjustment.
Around the turn, NASCAR Race Day on Speed. Race day's just getting started, and we can't wait to get back to the fun. There's a high burning going on as DW joins a few big guns for the Great American Smokeout. Speaking of smoke, Tony takes a break to talk smack on the gang. Can Spence keep his man crush in check? And Kyle drops in for some chit-chat. may have picked 2 winners this year, but Herm and Hermie battle it out for the top spot as we roll out a fresh, tasty new edition of Fantasy Picks, where the Jinx finds himself in dead last. Then, Wendy and Hermie break out the mics and hit the pavement for some driver one-on-ones. They say when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro, and we're professional weirdos. NASCAR Race Day continues now on Speed.
Wow. Well, you got to do what you're good at,
That
right?
was
If you're
bad.
weird, you got to be a pro weirdo. We're back at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Nothing weird about the fact that tonight we're going to see the 25th running of the Sprint All-Star Race. But first, it's the showdown to see who transfers up. And of course, on an all-star event, you have to have the stars come out, and that's what we sent our good friend Rutledge to find as a star, and I think he did. Rutledge?
John, you're not going to believe this. The golf cart brought me here. I saw this sign first, and I thought, who is that handsome devil? It's none other than Kevin Costner, who is standing here with me. Kevin, we are so glad you could be here to be a part of the NASCAR Foundation and NASCAR Day. First off, how much fun was making that commercial with Kyle Petty?
Well, neither one of us knew what to expect, because making commercials has not been my bag, and it wasn't his either. So he looked at me and goes, I'm nervous. I said, me too, man. And then he goes, really? And I go, yeah, because we both want to kind of look okay in this thing. Even though it's for charity, we want to look like idiots.
But you did get the car to fire up.
We did, and I got to tell you, the whole thing shuddered and shook. We didn't know whether to jump back. We looked like a couple of sissies for a while. We goes, is this thing going to blow up? I mean, it was a muscle car, but I think it was held together with glue.
Now, you and your band just got to play before Montgomery Gentry. You had a good time.
Yeah, we did. It was nice. We were able to play the song Backyard for everybody, and NASCAR bought the song, and feel like it has a kind of a signature sound for race day.
And how is it being a part of NASCAR Day? It seems like it's been a huge success for you guys so far and a lot of fun for you.
Well, there's a certain thing that happens in life when things go your way, and they have for me in my life, and NASCAR has certainly had a good run. There's such a huge thing on the American landscape that, you naturally start thinking, what can you do outside yourself? And NASCAR rightly has thought to create charities that make a difference in people's life, and have asked their fans to participate in the good fortune of not only NASCAR but also in their own lives, and we're dealing with an especially tough time right now in America, and a lot of people are struggling. So the idea of people reaching in their pocket to help somebody else they'll never meet, NASCAR still challenging them to do that, and I think that's the right thing to do.
I want to thank you so much for being here. If I don't ask you this one thing, I'll regret it the rest of my life. If I build it, will they come?
It's so funny about those movies. Sometimes, a sentence happens, and it starts to live in the vocabulary of the country. Becomes an iconic saying. I've had some movies that are like that, The Big Chill, and if you build it, he will come. And I think even in open range now, a lot of people come up to me and go, "You the one that killed my friend?"
Well, Johnny, all we can tell you is I think we built that speed stage, and you guys are headed there shortly. Kevin Costner, thanks for being here. Hope you had fun.
All right.
See you guys. Back to you, Johnny.
Rutledge, thanks, and thanks to Kevin Costner for stopping by and talking with us and also helping with NASCAR Day. It's just one part of all the activities that lead up to the All-Star race, and there's been a lot going on in Charlotte over the past couple of days as part of the All-Star celebration. It all kicked off with the Pit Crew Challenge. It was the #1 team who took 5 of the 7 individual events for Bass Pro Shops, but in the end, it was the number 31 team of Jeff Burton and Caterpillar for Richard Childress Racing. That group was the overall winner in the Pit Crew Challenge. So congratulations to those guys. It was a night for the unsung heroes of NASCAR to shine, get their time in the spotlight, and also a good-sized check as well. All-Star qualifying is second to none. It's unlike anything else during the season. You got to run 3 laps plus a pit stop, and Kurt Busch and his team were able to put him in the second qualifying spot. He'll start on row #1. Hendrick Motorsports again was dominant. Then again, they're right down the road. Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin turned in great qualifying action, and also Dale Earnhardt Jr. and P1 Jimmy Johnson. He will start from the pole. Last night, under the lights, the sparks were flying in the Truck Series race. And Jimmy, I know this is one of your favorite events.
Oh, I love the truck races. Here we see Skinner taking the lead from Hornaday, but this is incredible, fans. Just tribute NASCAR here. This is devastating wreck.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, that's Mike Skinner in the 5 truck. And, you know, I just have to say thanks to NASCAR. And, you know, this is just racing, man. He's trying to get underneath the car. He gets a little loose. He gets bumped. And then he gets turned the wrong way. This is what happened to Dale Earnhardt Sr. And, man, that just was devastating. No one got hurt. Thank you, NASCAR, for building safe vehicles.
Glad to see the principal come out and wave to the crowd, but they weren't done wrecking yet. They had a lot of fixing to do. Again, thank goodness for those safer barriers. Here's Rowdy Bush. Kyle Busch in the number 51. Whoops.
I don't think Kyle Busch did anything wrong there. I mean, I think the 6 truck moves over. Oh, Kyle moves down. Wow. See, I like Kyle, but boy, Kyle, I'll tell you what, you could use a little bit better judgment right there.
Hey, I'll tell you one day, he's pretty good. He took out 2 at one time. That was bad of me saying that. Oh, well.
Todd Bodine for a spin into the outside wall.
Yep, and here comes Horny. Right to the front in the old Camping World Longhorn Chevrolet, and he takes the win for Kevin Harvick and Delana.
Second win here at Lowe's Motor Speedway for Ron Hornaday in that KHI truck.
And you know, fans, let me tell you something. If you get an opportunity, watch the trucks on speed. If not, go to the track and watch them. They are the best racing on NASCAR has.
One of the best shows we always see throughout the week is that Camping World Truck Series race. Now, throughout this show, we have been showing you little vignettes of past All-Star races, and we've been looking at these All-Star races through the eyes of artist Gary Hill. And Gary is with us now to unveil a very special painting. But first, the 2008 flashback.
The 2008 NASCAR Sprint All-Star race is indeed a piece of history. Just like so many of the races before, Casey Kane did not race into the main event. They were voted in by the Sprint fan vote. And for the first time, that vote not only got them into the main event, but Casey Kane went on to win the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race in 2008. And we have, for the first time, subtitled the artwork. It's normally titled by the year. We've subtitled it this year for the fans because, indeed, if it had not been for the fans, Casey Kane would have been on the sidelines. Just goes to show you what can happen when you get a second chance.
And here comes Casey Kane, the fan favorite, wins the Sprint All-Star race.
Oh, by the way, young man, this bud's for you. Good job, Case. Good work, bud.
And we want to unveil the painting that Gary Hill has put together with the help of Miss Sprint, Anne-Marie Rose. Let's take a look at this painting, guys. Absolutely beautiful job, Gary. Thanks once again, and thanks for all your help today on the program. We appreciate it. Appreciate seeing Anne-Marie as well. But right now, we're going to take off, go inside the racetrack, and continue to bring you coverage of the 2009 Sprint All-Star race. We have the Penzoil Victory Challenge coming up, and that's just leading up to when the sparks fly under the lights tonight at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
It's time to step up and show the boys what you're made of. Who takes home the Burnout Crown this year? The Victory Challenge is straight ahead. NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
Welcome back to NASCAR Race Day here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, home of NASCAR, Concord, North Carolina. Of course, Annapolis right there with Dale Earnhardt Sr. Top stars in our sport will battle it out for the big $1 million check and ego. I think egos are on the line tonight. Bragging rights from these drivers. Who's going to come home the All-Star winner? It's going to start here shortly. The pageantry of the All-Star race, one of the most exciting nights in NASCAR. One of my favorite nights to talk about here on NASCAR Race Day. The excitement is building in the garage. The drivers are getting ready by the minute, and we're going to bring you right up to it every step of the way. Now let's check in with Chad Knaus for our Sunoco Pit Strategy of the Week.
We're back here at Lowe's Motor Speedway for an exciting All-Star race, guys, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a little bit tricky this time because they've changed the format on us once again. You got a 50-lap segment, 2 20-lap segments, and a 10-lap segment at the end of the race. The thing that's really kind of unique is in that 50-lap segment at the beginning of the race, they're going to throw a caution flag midway in between there, where everybody on the racetrack has to come down pit road and change 4 tires. Strategy at that point is going to be a little bit easier because you know what you got to do. You've got to change 4 tires. But at the end of that first 50-lap segment, you can come down pit road before the first 20-lap segment and do whatever you want. You can take fuel only, you can take 2 tires, you can take 4 tires. What's everybody gonna do? How do you know? How can you guess? Everybody's gonna be trying different things here with this race. Now, the thing that you really have to pay attention to is the end of the second 20-lap segment. You really need to be up towards the front because they have a 10-minute break at that point. When you come down pit road, you're gonna stop. You're gonna be able to change 4 tires, fill yourself up with Sunoco fuel, and then you go back out on the racetrack in the order that you came onto pit road at the end of that second 20-lap segment. So you need to be up front. If you're not in the first 4 cars at that point, I don't think you got a shot to win the race unless there's a big accident. So I'll tell you what, grab a hold of your seats, boys. It's gonna be exciting. Enjoy the race.
And thanks to Chad Knaus for his pit strategy of the week. I think it was a little bit vague. And first off, we have to tell Chad because those rules, man, they are confusing, but he wasn't giving a thing up. That wasn't really a strategy.
You can't imagine Chad Knaus wouldn't tell us what his plan is for the whole race, but a lot going on tonight, Wendy, and Crew Chief's got a lot of decisions to make.
I think they need to keep this up on the screen all night long here on Speed because we all need to be reminded of what the segment breakdown is. Green flag pit stops at that lap 25, 2020, and my favorite part, segment 4, 10-lap shootout.
10 laps, Wendy, for the $1 million, double foul restart. Everybody's got 4 brand new sticker tires to go 10 laps.
All right, let's take a look at the lineup. Of course, this qualifying session was not rained out. One of my favorite qualifying sessions of the year is for the All-Star race because it includes a pit stop.
Yes, everything's involved. The driver, the car, the crew. Everybody's got a hand in running a good lap. And some of these guys on down the line here, Wendy, had a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, some of them loose lug nuts. A guy like Tony Stewart, he took 2 tires and took off. He forgot the rules of qualifying.
He really did. And you add to that, the 2 drivers who transfer in from the showdown, as well as the fan vote winner, that'll all build up right when the showdown is over. Should be a lot of fun.
And we talked to Jimmy Johnson earlier when he was on NASCAR Race Day. Here's a little sneak peek of that paint scheme that he talked about for Memorial Day weekend next weekend for the Coke 600. Chad Knaus, his crew chief, actually had a part in putting that paint scheme together. A little bit of a retrospect from the paint scheme of his father's race car, Chad Knaus's race car from years ago.
Yeah, it's a beautiful race car, and guarantee it's going to be a fast race car as well. Every time you come to Lowe's Motor Speedway, those guys are a factor to win.
All right, well, we look forward to it. And we'll be back with more from the All-Star Race 25th anniversary right here on Speed. The countdown begins. Stay with us. We have it all here tonight on Speed. Welcome back to NASCAR Race Day. Well, the guys are making their way in. Hermie Sadler and I are up here. Tony Stewart's getting ready for the All-Star Race this week. We decided to check in with the man, the owner, the driver, Tony Stewart at Stewart Haas Racing. Here is this week's Real Deal.
I think everybody was wondering, why would Tony Stewart leave an operation that he won 2 championships in 33 races? Well, I think he's proven now, sitting in the top 5 in points, sitting in the top 5 here tonight.
Almost a third of the way into the Cup season. Assess how far the company's come, because the last time I was here was Media Day in January.
It has come a long way. Obviously, once we got into the season and everything got into the week-by-week basis, everybody's kind of settled into their groove and got kind of calmed down, so it's kind of just business as usual every day now. We're kind of into the weekly grind and this day-to-day business.
Stewart Haas cars have been really impressive. Who would have ever thought that that company would turn around the way it has?
How often are you actually in this race shop?
Well, we have our competition meetings every Monday after each race weekend, and pretty much I've been down in Charlotte the whole time since then, so I don't come in every day, but for the most part, I'm here a couple times a week.
Are you tardy?
Yeah, very much so. Our meetings are not in the morning when it comes to meeting with me, so I'm more second shift guy. I'll come in the afternoon, and the guys leave at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm still here with the stuff that I have to do.
So 150 employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know a lot of them by their first name? Because that would be difficult to learn everyone in this short amount of time.
No, I don't. But,
well, at least you're honest.
But we're working on it. We're getting better about it. But, the good thing and something that was important to me from day one was just coming in and having fun with these guys every day. So the big thing is I come in and I mess with somebody new every day that I come in here and get them worked up.
Tony Stewart, that 14 car.
I mean, he's just getting better and better every week. He's getting more and more comfortable.
Now, I see these guys over here meeting, and it seems like there's real work going on. You're really the face of the company, though. You're the one that has to answer to the media.
But I don't do the work. These guys do the work. That's why they're over in their meetings over there, and and I'm standing over here with you doing all the PR side.
Do you ever get sick and tired of doing the PR stuff and want to maybe step back away from it as the owner?
I think that from the media side this year, obviously with it being a new deal and a new program, there was a lot of attention, and we have definitely been busy this year from the media side.
But none as good as this.
Oh God, no. When you come here, are you kidding me? I get relaxed, I put my flip-flops on, and off we go.
I know. If I knew it was casual Monday, I would have worn my flip-flops.
Well,
I would have been a lot more comfortable.
It was so casual on this Monday that I forgot that I was meeting with you, which I never forget that I'm meeting with you. And I was in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, so I was pretty relaxed. But it's, that's the way we come in too. I mean, I'm never in a button-up shirt. I'm always in jeans and tennis shoes and a t-shirt when I come in here, and I'm just one of the guys.
Great day for Stewart Haas Racing. Tony in third and Brian pushing for sixth.
Not the most exciting looking room, but some serious business takes place here. Where are we right now?
Yeah, this is one of our conference rooms that we have upstairs at the shop, and this is where we have our Monday afternoon competition meetings. So we can look through the window there and look down on the floor in the prep shop and watch the guys working. But this is where we talk about what happened that we did right or what we did wrong during the weekend.
So what is the thing that you most look forward to? Because there's still a lot of future ahead of you as an owner. What do you look forward to?
I think I look forward to the first pole, the first win for the organization, and hopefully the opportunity for us to have 2 cars in the chase.
We head into the All-Star race. What would it mean for you to get your first win as an owner and a driver at Stewart Haas for the All-Star race?
It'd be awesome, and this is everybody's home race when it comes to the team standpoint. So it's not a personal accomplishment for me as much as it would be a huge, huge accomplishment for the organization to be able to do it here where all of our guys can come to the track and be a part of it.
And the drama of the All-Star night continues. Tony Stewart joining us live here on NASCAR Racing. He literally just came in here. They got him hooked up right as we were ending that feature.
And the first thing, he's mad because I'm sitting beside you and not him.
Yeah, that's the truth. That is true.
We saw your flip-flops, by the way. The secret's out that you wear flip-flops to work.
Oh, man. Now everybody's going to want to do it.
You're starting a trend. Now, the sun's out. It is sprinkling a little, but no big deal. I think it's behind us now. Talk about tonight's race. It's an exciting one. No doubt you would want to get your first win of the year right here at the All-Star race.
Who wouldn't want to get their first win here? I mean, this is home for everybody. I mean, all the guys, our shop is literally about 6 miles from here. So it's not far at all, and all the guys are here from the shop, and, we all want to get a good win tonight or good run tonight, too. So, hopefully we can get that first one here.
First thing, that was one heck of a 2-tire pit stop last night qualifying. You guys nailed it, Tony.
Okay, I'm glad Hermie brought that up.
I've been practicing with all those 2-tire stops we did at Darlington last week. I was on my game.
Oh, where'd you go?
Yeah, Kelly's like, that's when I got on the radio and said, I'll be right back. So I wasn't preoccupied thinking of anything else. I don't have an excuse for why I took off other than when he cleared, I went. So I don't know. I was so nervous about making sure I did a good job. I did a good job leaving on the jack. It's awesome. The wrong jack.
You're nervous?
So, yeah.
You were nervous last night?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, right here I went from nervous to feeling like an idiot. So.
Well, look, that's about the only thing that's going on for you guys so far this year. But talk about the start you guys have got off to. Obviously, you got to be happy with that. But has it changed your expectations? I mean, I guess going into Daytona, you've got to have some concerns about what you've got. Does that your expectations increase as you move forward?
Well, I mean, like we said in the video there, I mean, every week when we sit in the competition meeting on Monday afternoons, we sit there with my flip-flops. Yeah. We sit there and analyze, and we try to figure out what did we do right, what did we do wrong, what can we do to make it better the next week. And, as long as we feel like we're progressing forward, that's what you want. I mean, you know that you're up against tough competition and tough teams and tough organizations. So you can't go out and expect to go out and beat them right off the bat, but at the same time, we've been able to run up front. We've led laps. We've been in positions to win races, and we're really close. I mean, and both teams are running the same. So, that's half the battle in itself. We're second and eighth in the points right now. So, I mean, we're right where we need to be, right where we want to be. We're trying to get that first win now.
Now, when you look at and how the season's going, you're happy as a team owner, but you have to be really happy about being a track owner because Eldora's coming up, the prelude to the dream. That's always an exciting time for you as a track owner.
Yeah, it really is. June 3rd again, and excited to have everybody coming up again. It's always a humbling experience knowing that so many of these guys want to come support our charity and come support that night and come up and run with us. And I'm going to miss my normal 2 days of prepping and helping out up there or getting in the way, depending on which guy you ask at the track. But we're going to be doing a tire test the first 2 days of that week. So, but we'll be there on Wednesday and making sure that everything's ready to go.
Of your guest list of who's coming in, now, my brother caused over half the cautions the first year, and he hadn't been brought back, and I hadn't been invited either. But on your guest list, any new guys coming in that we hadn't seen there in the past?
Yeah, we got Brian Vickers this year. I'll have to go look at the list and remember right offhand. I knew I was going to get put on the spot, but I know Brian Vickers is coming this year. He's excited about it. I just sat next to Jimmy Johnson in the driver's meeting, and he's going testing next week. So I'm pretty excited, and everybody's excited to come back. So many of these guys have the teams they're driving for or themselves, they're building new cars to come to this race.
This caused a lot of guys to get their own dirt teams built.
They take this really serious for a race that's just supposed to be a charity race.
And they're spending a lot of money. I've been to Eldora Speedway to the Prelude. You put on one heck of a show. You get really serious in getting that racetrack prepared, and these guys, they're serious about winning.
Well, you want to make sure that when you invite 24 of your buddies up to come race with you, that everything's right when you get there. And, you know, the hardest thing is Mother Nature when you're dealing with a dirt track. You can't just take a jet dryer out and blow it off. So, you know, taking that Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday to get ready, I mean, we do spend a lot of time, but we got a great staff at Eldora that does a great job anyway. So I go up there and probably get in the way more than I do anything else, but at least I know when Wednesday comes around that everything's ready.
And before we go, where can fans go on a website to find information about the Prelude to the Dream?
EldoraSpeedway.com, TonyStewart.com, and it's going to be live on HBO pay-per-view again, so check it out. It's going to be pretty cool.
Cool. Thanks, Tony, for joining us. Good luck tonight in the All-Star. Good luck getting a victory for the All-Star race. Now, coming up, the Penzoil Victory Challenge, the most amazing burnouts you'll ever see right here on Speed. You do not want to miss it, I guarantee it. These guys, they could be entertaining. Stick right with us on NASCAR Race Day.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Race Day. Built by the Home Depot, you see a beautiful aerial view of the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and it's this time in our show where we are going to carry for you live the Penzoil Victory Challenge. It's the second edition of this celebration contest. Who can do the best post-race burnout? Well, we're going to find out after this. Let's take a look at the format. Here are your rules, and we're going to keep it kind of simple for you guys because we don't want to get too crazy about this thing. Drivers are all accompanied by a passenger. They drive similarly prepared stock cars from the Jeff Gordon Racing School. You got 30 seconds to freestyle your burnout. The judges will score each driver, and $10,000 goes to the winning driver's favorite charity. Now, a couple of rules here. If your car hits the wall or enters the grass, the driver is disqualified. The passenger, well, he doesn't get disqualified because all he's doing is riding along. Now, this is the very important part, the 30 seconds. That's probably about the only rule we're really going to make you stick to. And what happens, drivers Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip, Casey Kane, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, and Clint Boyer, and Kenny Wallace, you can't break that 30-second rule because we're going to cut off the car for you.
And I'm going to tell you what, Darrell Waltrip has 30 seconds to wear himself out or burn the clutch out, Darrell, but you can win it.
Hey, Darrell could easily win it because he's the only guy. He did the tire test, I guess you could say.
And Darrell Waltrip has won, what, 70 or 80 races, but they didn't do burnouts back in the days.
I know, but he said he just wasn't that good at the burnout back in the day, and he wanted to get better at it. So we got some tough judges who are going to be looking at these drivers. Let us meet our esteemed panel of judges, and they include none other than Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, Kevin Costner, that's Rick Neuheisel on the mic behind Costner. We have Montgomery and Gentry, Randy Moss, Eddie Montgomery and Troy Gentry, Randy Moss, and the Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair. Woo! And we are ready now to go down to Hermie Sadler as we get ready for the Penzoil Victory Challenge. Hermie's with Kyle.
Well, I got Kyle Busch getting ready to get this thing going. A little bit of showers. How are these going to affect your burnout with a little bit of a wet racetrack?
Make it a little bit easier and be able to slip around a little bit more. But, yeah, it should be a fun deal. You know, looking forward to it. You know, it's Jeff Gordon School this year instead of Richard Petty, so it'll be a little bit different. Rules are different, so maybe it'll be more fun for everybody.
Now, you've had a little more practice than some of these other guys recently. Is that an unfair advantage for you?
Well, apparently some guys went testing this week over at the drag strip, I hear. So, you know, I guess it's fair because it wasn't at a NASCAR track, and it was, you know, it wasn't at a venue we race at. So, you know, it'll be fun for all, and goes to a good cause. The money can go to a good cause, so that's what it's all about.
I think you're referring maybe to DW, Darrell Waltrip. He did a little testing, but do you think they need to give him an extra senior citizens, extra 30 seconds, or you think he can get it done in 30?
Well, apparently he's never done it before, but,
you know, he still has the jaws that move quite as fast as they always have. So he should be able to have the feet and the manpower to make that car move as fast as it always has. But I heard Biffle was over there testing too, so he might have a little bit more for it too.
Well, Wendy, the guys are already setting it up for a very competitive competition, and some guys apparently did a little bit of extra testing. Did your guy do that?
Well, let's find out. I'm with Clint Boyer. A lot of trash talking early on before the Penzoil Victory Challenge. Did you do any testing, my friend Clint?
No, I think there's a little bit of conspiracy going on. I think some of them did a little practicing, and there's a lot of rings out there on the front stretch for, you know, people that say they didn't practice. So just go out there and see what we got.
You've been looking at the clouds. We have some raindrops. How's that going to play into your burnout?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We're standing out here in the sunshine and in the rain, but you know, I hadn't rained hard enough to mean anything. It's just going to be interesting. I guess we're going to go out in a second tier or something. Hopefully they don't tear my car up too bad, and we'll get to see what they do and try to top it.
All right, good luck to Clint Boyer. I'm sure he has some tricks up his sleeve. Freestyle, Johnny, freestyle.
And Jeff Gordon has quite a bit of experience doing burnouts after races with all the wins he has, and he is going to be our first contestant here in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. He's got 30 seconds to do as many freestyle burnout rings as he can, and he can try to get home $10,000 for his foundation. Here goes Jeff Gordon. A little bit of last-minute talking there going on, Kenny Wallace. I guess they're strategizing.
Hey, let me tell you what. To finish first, you must first start the car. Now, this man is saying, Jeff, this is one of your school cars.
It's one of your cars,
and
dude.
here we
Okay,
go.
here he goes.
This is big, race fans. The number 24 flag is flying, and Jeff Gordon is going to get 30 seconds on the clock to impress Nature Boy Ric Flair, Randy Moss, Montgomery Gentry, Spencer. There's a whole Kevin Costner.
I think Spencer's sort of like the Eastern Bloc judges in the Olympics.
And here we
He's
go.
Gonna be the tough
Here's
one.
the countdown right here, race fans.
30
Everybody.
seconds for Jeff Gordon to do his best burnout with passenger in tow.
And this is exciting now, race fans. Go! 30 seconds right now.
Here goes Jeff.
Come on, Jeff, light her
Not
up.
too much smoke. I guess that's part of the rain thing.
Well, I tell you what, that's good there. A lot of smoke coming out of the left rear. A donut now. That's good points for a donut.
Staying out of the grass, staying out of the wall, that'll cost you.
And I'm going to tell you what, he's lighting it up now. A lot of smoke coming out of that right rear. It's key that he keeps the car going. Now another donut. I tell you what, Jeff's looking good.
Around goes Jeff Gordon for his second donut, still burning out the tires. And those things are holding up pretty good, I'd say.
I think the winner should blow his rear tires out. Woo, he's done.
All right, so Jeff Gordon is our first contestant in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. Let's see what the judges think. Nature Boy Ric Flair, make your scores, gentlemen.
Everybody's like, well, what are you going to go? Spence is already ready to go.
Spence is ready. Hey, Spence, help those guys out.
Nature Boy's thinking, I don't know. Here's
All right,
Spence.
show us your scores. Nature Boy's got a 9. Rick's got a 9. What do you think, Randy's got an 8?
He's on the ball. He knows.
Tough judge. A 9, 8, 8. And Spence has got another 8. Okay, so that's tough judges here. See who could do it any better than that. So Jeff Gordon.
You know, Jeff Gordon is at a little bit of a disadvantage because he's the first car to go. I think you're going to see the judges get a better idea. But look, this is really good for a 4-time champion, Jeff Gordon.
Total score 50 for Jeff Gordon as he smoked the tires around there. And he may have had the disadvantage of going first.
Who is riding in the car with him?
That is a good question. Let's go to Hermie.
Yeah, Greg Biffle checking out Jeff's burnout. What'd you think of that?
I thought that was pathetic.
Tell us what you really think.
I had to come up with something good, you know, shoot a little bow at it. But it's freestyle competition. You know, we can do only what we can do with these cars, and I'm gonna go out there and do whatever, get crazy, do some burnouts, whatever. We'll see what happens, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And these are Jeff's cars. He doesn't mind if you blow it up. That's Greg Biffle. Back to you, JR.
Hermie the Biff has some experience in this. Next contestant, Kevin Harvick. And he's got a little extra pressure on him, Kenny Wallace, because he's carrying the Penzoil colors.
And you know what I'm thinking? That he's got to do something to really impress these judges. But what I like, look at his shield right there. He's got my sponsor, Jegs, on his shield. Now, if he's going to be like Jeg Coughlin, he's going to have to do a good pro stock burnout right here. But he's going to have to do something big. Maybe complete 180, 360 burnouts the whole way down.
Kenny, we have to correct ourselves. That's DW. That's Darrell Waltrip. I thought that was Kevin Harvick because he had the Penzoil on.
That was Kevin Harvick getting ready. But here's Darrell Waltrip.
Old DW is going to give it his best flying the 17 flag. Now, he tested.
Oh, he's a sliding burnout. We need to see some smoke. But he went with a sliding burnout. That's a victory lane burnout. When you come off of turn 4 into the grass.
Careful, 15 seconds in. Got to stay out of the grass, DW. He's dangerously close to it backwards.
He's on the red chip right now. You hear the motor.
DW said he wanted to become the first guy to do a backwards donut. He's in the grass.
Oh!
That's a DNQ.
He's taking the Penzoil sign out little by little.
I'm afraid the judges are going to have to throw up the DQ right away. He's in the grass.
Well,
excellent effort.
Hey, listen to this, race fans. He's making a pass in the grass.
Except it's going the wrong way.
And I'm going to tell you what. I don't know. I think Bruton Smith's going to be mad. He's messing his grass.
Hold him up, guys. What do you think?
We don't have
they're looking for the card that says DNQ.
What do you got, Spence?
They gave him a 6. The lowest one possible.
Jimmy Spencer
no got anything
6.
lower than 6. Spence got a 6. Kosser's got a 6.
Well, it's actually a 9.
9 upside down.
We're going to turn it upside down.
Nicely done.
6.
Montgomery Jensen's got 7. Randy Moss?
What do you got, Randy?
Randy's got a 6. Let's go to Wendy.
Thought he was supposed to stay off the grass.
Waltrip just swung by us, flung up some grass. Casey, what do you think of Darrell Waltrip? Because I think he almost hit us.
Hey, about scared. There was stuff flying everywhere. I think their rules were stay out of the grass and stay off of where the track's painted, and that's where he was the whole time. So I don't think he'll get too many good points for that one.
All right, let's check in with Hermie.
Yeah, Jeff, we're watching Darrell Waltrip. A lot of entertainment value. I'm not sure about the burnout score. What do you think?
Typical DW, he pretty much broke every rule there was in this deal, and you know what, this is all for fun, and I had a blast out there. I thought, I don't know, I thought my burnout was pretty good, and you know, they told me there was a clock and all this stuff, and I stayed off the riding out there and out of the grass, so I don't know, I did my part. It's a great thing that they're doing here for a great cause. You know, Speed Channel and the Jeff Gordon Foundation are partners in doing some great things for kids, and this is one of the ways, just one of the many ways that we're going to team up together. Had a lot of fun. It's great to see DW out there, though. I loved it.
Just another lesson. If you stay within the rules, you're not going to win.
No, I think he just wasn't listening in the driver's meeting is what it was.
He's not going to listen. DW walking in. Back to you for a second, JR.
Okay, thanks, Hermie. There, you know, leave it to old DW, Kenny, to break the rules.
Hey, in the old days, you know, like the 80s, Darrell always broke the rules. He continues to do it in what, 2009 now.
But he looked good.
He's a rule breaker.
He looked good doing it.
Yes, he did.
All right, so Jeff Gordon's leading the way so far. Let's go now to Kevin Harvick flying the 29 flag and also the Penzoil colors. Let's see how good Kevin can do here because he, again, is another veteran of this competition.
I'm looking for good things out of this. Look at the starter. Here we go. 1. Here we go. 30 seconds. Okay, the motors are just getting revved up. Remember, these are school car motors. This is the Jeff Gordon school car, so we don't have cup motors, 800 horsepower. Doing a good job. It looks like it's about 650 horsepower.
And go ahead, tear up the tires. They'll make more.
I still think the winner should blow both rear tires out. I don't know if 30 seconds is long enough. 10 seconds left. Whoa,
Look at Kevin.
Listen to the fans.
Oh, the crowd's loving it.
Come on, blow them out.
There you go. He's even waving them up.
Oh, this is
a lot
great.
of smoke from K. Harv, and that's going to be a tough act to follow.
That was big, race fans. The only thing he could have done better was get out of the car and stand on top of the roof.
Wife Delana has some good video of that. I'm sure we'll see that. So he's still going.
And she's using the flip recorder that I use on my Facebook. That's becoming quite popular. She's recording her husband to put him on Facebook.
What do you think, judges? Hold up your scores.
This has got to be 10.
Spence, help him out. There's a 10.
Yes.
10.
Randy Moss, 10.
From the Nature Boy.
Oh, Spencer.
Spencer. And Flair's got a 9, too.
We hear you, Jimmy.
Wow. Tough scores from the Eastern Bloc judges.
Wow, Spence. You were the only one that didn't make it perfect.
Man.
He's not done, guys. Look.
He's going for more.
So 58. He's got Jeff Gordon now by 8 points. So there's only 2 off.
A perfect score, remember, race fans, is 60. This is close to perfect, but yet not perfect enough.
Hermie Sadler.
Guys, the shoes say it all. And Champ, the uniform still fits. That's good. How'd you have a good time out there?
I squeezed into this bad boy. But look at the contrast in my rider's shoes. Look at hers.
She came to Dave Marcus.
Look at my. This is more like the, current days drivers. This is like old school right here. But no, That was so much
They told me you broke all the rules.
I couldn't have. I think Harvick just broke all the rules. He'd been out there for 10 minutes. But, no, that was fun. I'd never done that before. You know, back in my day, if I'd have done that, I'd gotten fired. So it was fun to have a car that, they said just go out there and see if you can blow it up.
Oh, well, that's fun. He's done that before, too, Wendy.
All right, I'm with Delana Harvick. We saw she was recording her husband's burnout. So what did you think? First of all, let me get you, because you're always watching your husband. What did you think of that burnout?
I thought it was pretty good. I think he was trying to do one backwards. I don't think that worked. So, I don't know. I think an A for effort. That was pretty cool.
All right, and now this could be on any internet site for Mr. Harvick. Johnny?
KevinHarvick.com.
KevinHarvick.com.
All right, so that is well documented. You know, Kevin Harvick is not being cocky driving into victory lane. We have to clarify. He has to go there for a photo op. But you know what? He may end up in victory lane after this contest anyway, because 58 is going to be a pretty tough score to beat.
Race fans, I got to bring up something that we need to make sure that we remember. This is All-Star Weekend. A fan is riding in a car, going to get their photo. I mean, we got superstars here. This is not your normal weekend. And, baby, we're whooping it up here at Charlotte.
Kevin Harvick leads with 58 points in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. We'll be back with more victory celebrations among the stars of NASCAR
Look at
in
Darryl.
just a moment. Yeah, he's third of three.
We're a donut now.
It is All-Star Night at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. We're bringing you live coverage of the Penzoil Victory Challenge. Couple things to remember here. This is all about fun and all for charity. Kevin Harvick right now had a celebration that garnered 58 points from a very tough panel of judges. And we've already had one driver DQ'd, Darrell Waltrip. He broke the rules.
He was in the grass.
You can't do that.
He bumped a Penzoil sign.
Let's now go down where Casey Kane has his fan in his car with him, the Jeff Gordon school car, and he's going to try his best at a victory celebration that'll knock Kevin Harvick off the top of the podium.
All right, here we go. Casey Kane's going to have to do something big, because let's remember, Kevin Harvick got a standing ovation.
A lot of smoke coming out of Casey's car. You know, he's got some experience here. He did 2 burnouts last year.
And he won the big one here. This is your all-star winner from last year. He's looking good. I still think he's going to have to smoke it up, unbelt himself out of the car. I think he's going to have to stand on the roof and play to the fans. He's lighting them up.
It's like a little bit more smoke than Harvick. Maybe track conditions.
Well, Harvick stayed in one spot. Now, this is pretty, but we want a lot of smoke. Harvick stayed in one spot.
The fans like it.
They love him. He's good looking.
Well, true.
Let's
go to the judges and see if the judges are swayed by Casey's looks or by his burnout effort. We got a 9. We got a 10 for the Nature Boy. Oh, Randy Moss is being tough. He's tough as Spencer. And look at that. Some 8s, some 9s, and 1 10 from the Nature Boy.
Woo! I'll tell you what. Guys, I know what you're saying. I think Kevin Harvick. Spence, what do you think? Harvick's the best so far.
Well, what I think we all enjoyed was Harvick being able to lock the car down and just keep it smoking. And we reacted to the fans. The fans went wild, Kenny. They stood up. And, I mean, hey, this is what it's about, the fans, and I think Harvick did a heck of a job there.
That's smart. Now, let's see what kind of reaction we get from the 18 as he gets out there. But first, we got to check in with Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, I got Kevin Harvick. Kevin, did you burn out? They cut the car off for you, and you said you weren't done, so you fired it back up again.
Yeah, I guess they shut it off, and I guess that was my sign to know that I was done, but I didn't know. I thought the thing just died because it was too hot. But so I put it in reverse, and it wouldn't move. And I think the tires were just a little bit too hot. But a lot of fun. Just got to thank Penzoil and all these guys for participating in it. It's fun for the fans to just go out there and tear something up.
That's not yours. He's the leader in the clubhouse right now, Kevin Harvick.
So Kyle Busch has had 50 opportunities in NASCAR's 3 Top Series to do burnouts, so he should be pretty good at this thing, Kenny.
I'm thinking this is going to be your run for the money, race fans. He's going after Kevin Harvick. Green flag, baby.
And you know, Kyle Busch likes to have fun and everything, but he also likes to win. He's going to give this his all. See, he's already fastest.
Oh, no, he's in the wall.
Oh, did he touch the wall?
He's in the wall. Oh, my gosh.
Disqualification.
He's in the wall. This
but
is
you know what? He's going to get
unbelievable.
his money's worth out of this.
Now watch this. He's going to smoke him, and I bet he's going to get out of the car like he does when he wins a cup race.
He's going to give us a bow, I hope. He already hit the wall.
5
seconds left to burn out. We got to disqualify him, but
damage on the right
I
front.
think it'll buff out, though.
Listen, Randy Moss, what do you think of this? He's in the wall already. Should he take a bow, Randy?
Hey, he's known for that bow. He might as well get on out and show us the bow.
Come on, Kyle.
That's how we know him.
Jimmy Spencer, I'm a little amazed by this. He's in the wall. The motor's dead. This surprises me.
No option but to disqualify him because he hit the wall and he knocked out.
He's run.
I love
And
it,
it looks like he's upset.
I bet NASCAR's going to call him into the hauler after this.
I'll tell you what, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. I think.
He shouldn't have. That was it.
Well,
Judges, what do you think of Kyle? Okay, well, you give
oh,
it
wow. No way. Spence, they're giving him a 10.
Hey, guys, what do you
That
think?
makes the fans love it.
I have to agree with the
Fans
fans.
don't like it.
You know, I love them M&Ms, but I can't. We have to disqualify them. It's right here in the rules.
Well,
the
if
car
we're
hits
following the
wall,
rules, though, Jimmy, I'm not
car
too sure we're
hits
following.
wall, disqualified. Car hits wall, disqualified.
Hey, Nature Boy, do you hear me?
I didn't hear you. Know what?
Hey, listen, man. I mean, you come off the ring hard. You come off the top rope. This guy here, he didn't get on the top rope, but you gave him a 10. Look at this, Nature Boy.
But I was the very best at what I do, and this guy's looking pretty good tonight, man.
Thank goodness for the safer barriers.
He's creating some havoc and some interest. We love it.
Well, I like what John Roberts said. Thank goodness for the safer barriers.
I think the safer barriers really helped him. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Boos from the fans in the crowd, but giggles and laughs here on pit road. Casey Kane, what'd you think of Kyle Busch right there?
I bet his guy had some fun. That was to run into a wall, not too hard, but to run into a wall. I bet his passenger had a good time, and then Kyle hit the cones after and run over the barrels and stuff. It was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny.
You happy with yours?
It's all right. I don't even hardly know how to do a burnout, so to do 3, I think I did 3 and come out. I was all right. My rider had a good time. He said he had fun.
All right, Casey Kane was doing burnouts 1 year ago as the All-Star winner. Hermie?
Well, the good news is you had a good time. The bad news is I think they DQ'd you for trying to knock down the safer barrier.
That's all right. I wanted to get it out of the way now, so I didn't do it later on tonight. I've wrecked every single one of these All-Star races, so I figured I'd get it out of the way now, so maybe tonight we could actually put it in victory lane.
How about your rider there? How'd he like making contact in the tri-oval?
He was good about it. You know, he didn't care. I thought, you know what, we're going to build some speed up and try to spin this thing around, and they don't have any power to spin them around like a cup car, so that was a bad idea, but I don't care. It was fun, you know. I might get a bill from Jeff, but, you know, no worse for wear.
Kyle Busch, always exciting, guys.
Now the insurance adjusters are looking at the car right
I'm
now.
with Darren, a reporter from CNBC. You were the rider with Kyle Busch, and Casey Kane was just saying you probably had the best run out of everyone as a passenger with Kyle. How was it?
The best? How would you qualify the word best? By looking down here at the fender?
That's fun.
I'm like, I think we're going to hit the wall, and we did. Yeah, that was all that I bargained for, I guess.
Did you know he was going to hit the wall?
No.
Did he give you any warning?
No, he did not give me any warning, but I knew it was Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch, so I wasn't surprised.
Not surprised. The good news is he's got Kyle's driving suit on, so that's good for Darren. Johnny?
All right, now it is time for the Biff. Greg Biffle, a veteran of many burnouts, and like anything else that Greg Biffle does, he does the burnouts well, too.
And we always say here on Speed, stick with the Biff.
You better stick with the Biff here.
Stick with the Biff. Here we go. Green flag, baby. Let's see.
He's nailing it right away.
He's got smoke right away. Let's see what happens. He lets the clutch out. He goes for more RPMs.
I think he caught a cloud.
I think the judges are going to like this. I think Jimmy Spencer, Montgomery Gentry, Randy Moss, Kevin Costner, and Nature Boy are going to love it. Oh, he's on the rev limit. Hear that motor?
Getting a lot of good smoke, but no fan reaction so far.
I don't understand why they're not stopping the car like Kevin Harvick.
A little bit of fan reaction. Kevin Costner, what do you think of that?
Well, I think they're all professional vandals. I think I know who destroyed our football field one time.
See some 8s, 8 from Randy Moss. Nature.
Nature Boy, who are you looking at? Your fans?
I hope she's pretty.
We have you on camera. Nature Boy, look, 8s
across the board.
Randy Moss, what'd you give us?
Not good marks.
I gave him an 8.
Oh,
Huh.
all 8s.
Spencer's got his 8 upside down.
That looks good. That was good, JR.
You made me look, Johnny.
He did look, didn't he? So a total of 48 for the Biff.
Stick with the Biff.
Well, you can't stick with the Biff here because I don't think he's going to be good enough to get his charity that 10 grand right now because that's tough scores from tough judges.
Hey, Jimmy, what do you think it's going to take to win this deal?
Better than 58.
Well, you know, the thing is we got Clint Boyer here, and he said he didn't test, but I've watched him do some burnouts. But I'll tell you what, Kenny Harvick, with locking that car down, really was impressive. And And Biffle was close, but Biffle just had a little too much speed. He needed to keep that car a little bit slower. So I think Boyer might have learned a little bit from that. Keep the car a little slower and make more smoke. Let the car emerge from the smoke. It's pretty cool.
Hey, Spencer, are you asking all those famous people for? I mean, you're rubbing elbows with Kevin Costner, man. I mean, that's big.
We were just talking about My Town with Montgomery Gentry. I love this song. Dancing with the Wolves, one of my all-time favorite movies. My wife and I just absolutely love it with Kevin Costner. And the flair, I mean, Kenny, let's face it, nobody can beat woo, Nature Boy. And Randy Moss, you know, hey, let's face it, the guy was one of the greatest football players, and I got the autograph already for my son. So, hey, you know, let's face it, man.
Randy, my daughter, is standing by the stage. She loves you and wants your autograph. Her name's Brandy Wallace.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. Isn't that cheating?
Thank you, Randy. You're
welcome. We have one car to go in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. The idea here is to do the best victory celebration and get $10,000 for your favorite charity. And here comes Emporia, Kansas's Clint Boyer.
Let's see if he's learned anything, guys. Let's see if he's learned anything from Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy says, let's start. Okay, here we go, Spence. He's doing what you said. These motors,
see the smoke. We need the smoke.
Well, these motors do not have the horsepower like the Cup cars do, so they got to get them. Here we go. Here we go. See if he's getting.
Now he's got some smoke out of that Jeff Gordon driving school car.
But he moves the car. He's got to stay in one spot to get the Kevin Harvick smoke. It's pretty good.
Good smoke.
Oh, motor's blowing up. Oh, he's got it going again.
Working the tires well.
This is a good one. This ought to be second or third. Oh, the fans, they don't know what to think.
Kind of a murmur from the fans after that. We're going to have to see what these tough judges have to say about Clint Boyer. Last chance to knock, let's see the scores, gentlemen.
What do we have, judges? Nines, eights?
Some eights.
This looks like about a second or third
I don't
place
think it's going to be good enough, though, for first place.
Oh, no. Harvick's got a hold on it.
Harvick got the crowd reaction. I think that's really what it was.
Yeah,
the judges can see the crowd. They believe in the crowd. They trust NASCAR fans.
And you know what? Let's thank Jeff Gordon Racing School. They prepared these cars. Penzoil and race fans, there are riders, there are people in these cars, and they just can't believe they're on the racetrack with, like, Clint Boyer.
Jeff Gordon should have given himself the best car. He should have cheated one up.
You know what? I bet he might have.
Well, he didn't win. I'm afraid that victory goes to Kevin Harvick after a 51 for Clint Boyer. He holds the Penzoil flag on his car. Kevin Harvick is going to be our victor. Let's go to Wendy.
And I'm with Greg Biffle, who was serious about this competition, watching every guy do their burnout in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. But, man, you were saying maybe you got cheated because you got 48 points.
Oh, I don't know about that, but no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's anytime you can do a burnout, it's fun. You know, either you won a race or you did something, but more than that, you get to ruin a set of tires, and that's always fun. Driving a car, being able to do that. I really enjoy it, and I think the fans really did too.
Now, what do you think about Kyle Busch's run? Because he put his fan in the wall, and that guy was not very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't when that wall was coming at him over there. I'm sure he wasn't excited. I'm sure they're not excited about fixing the car either, but it looked like he has. I thought he'd have a little bit more experience at doing a burnout than what he showed us out there.
All right, all fun and games down here, and the real burnout will mean $1 million tonight.
Wendy, thanks. Let's take a look at the scores one more time, and we see Kevin Harvick is the man. Great efforts by many of the other guys. Casey Kane, Clint Boyer came close. Darrell Waltrip, Kyle Busch got disqualified for breaking the rules. Imagine that.
Hey, Darrell Waltrip did not finish last. And now we're going to go to the judges, right, JR? Hear what they have to say.
Spence, ask your fellow judges what they think about this whole thing.
What do you guys all think now? What do you, I mean, pretty decent.
Loved it. I tell you, the smoke, man, when you come out of the smoke, and Harvick just had the smoke all the way around him, man, and I mean, it was really, really awesome, and that's what I was really judging on. Right there.
Kevin?
Well, I'm confused. I'm really confused because I thought this was going to be a bathing suit thing. and I got all kind of ready for this, ready for the phone call from my wife. What are you doing? And then it was a car thing. So.
Well, you know, with men on the panel, you would think it could have went either way. How about Mr. Gentry there? What do you think? I mean, in the rear view, what do you think?
It was a lot of fun. I'm with everybody else. Should have been a lot more smoke. You know, a couple of the engines out there died on some of the drivers. But overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. And again, it goes to a great cause. The fans seem to have a good time seeing the cars going around. And a great event, great event.
Randy, you were like me. You were pretty tough on everybody.
Well, I think for the most part, we wanted some crowd participation, and they gave a little bit more than expected. But like everybody here at the podium said, we wanted to see more smoke. So we got to see a little bit. The burnouts were good, but I think that one where Cal got DQ'd, man, I thought that was a good run, but he did hit the wall.
All right, Flair, what do you think, baby?
Well, you know, I wanted Waltrip, pulling for the older guys, of course, you know, and he promised me a lot of merchandise if I voted for him, but had to go with Harvick. He created a lot of smoke, a lot of action, and after all, it's the Penzoil challenge, right?
Well, I also believe that some of those cars didn't have Penzoil in them, but Harvick's did, and that's why he won this thing. He probably had that motor oil, and it made it, the extra smoke. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, I think that Kevin Costner is wrong on that, because if it was a bathing suit contest, we've seen Jimmy Spencer in a bathing suit before, and it's not pretty. I want to thank the Jeff Gordon Racing School once again for providing the cars. There's a number that you can reach that school at 877-463-7223, and you can catch a ride with Jeff Gordon. But also we want to thank Jeff Gordon and the winner, Kevin Harvick. We will hear from him. Now that is a good-sized trophy, and also a $10,000 check to the foundation of Kevin Harvick's choice. There's Darrell Waltrip breaking the rules and having a laugh afterwards with Jeff Gordon and another rule breaker, Kyle Busch. When we come back, we'll talk to the victor, and that is Kevin Harvick.
Welcome back to NASCAR Race Day here from the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Standing in victory lane, you see the remains of the left rear tire coming up here on Kevin Harvick's Penzoil car, and we're going to get a word with him here in victory lane. Not too much damage, but you brought home the check. Always good to win an event that your sponsor is sponsoring, Kevin.
Yeah, that's is always good. So it's great to have Penzoil involved, and I want to thank the Jeff Gordon Driving School for giving us the cars to tear up, because that's a lot of fun. But most of all, I just want to thank the fans. This event is for them, and the drivers have a lot of fun just being able to go out there and just kind of mess around. So I didn't have any real plan, but it all worked out really good because the window net was down. So I just waved at the fans, and the car got stuck, which is kind of hard to do, until the tires popped.
This event is for charity. Tell us your $10,000 check. What's your foundation or your charity you're supporting?
Yeah, we'll take this money and give it to the Victory Junction Gang Camp. So it's always fun to support the Petties in the camp. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, tell us one quick question before we go. How about your car for tonight's race? I know the big prize is later tonight, $1 million. Can you get it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we changed everything under the sun on our Penzoil Chevrolet, so we'll see what happens. We were way too tight in practice and just kind of swinging at the fence here and maybe take home $1 million.
Swinging at the fence, Johnny, but he brings home the victory in the Penzoil Victory Challenge. That's Kevin Harvick.
Well, Hermie, if you swing at that fence and you hit the ball and you get it over, it's worth $1 million. Let's take another look at the Penzoil Victory Challenge scoreboard. Kevin Harvick with 58 points, was 5 better than Casey Kane. Boyer, Gordon, Biffle, all with great efforts. But DW and Kyle Busch, well, we're going to have to talk to them.
DW and Kyle Busch, they were, last and laster. But I tell you what, they were the biggest show. You know why? Because they were the rule breakers. They were the bad boys. All in all, this was a great event. I hope to see it again next year.
It was all about fun, all about silliness, but in the end, somebody's going to get a check for $10,000, and that is the charity of Kevin Harvick's choice. So in the end, that is the good thing.
And JR, what was so much fun was having Jimmy Spencer down on the stage with so many great people, to judge this. It was really exciting.
He was a tough judge, though, man.
Spencer's always mean. And so, you know who was mean with him?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, he jumped on the mean bandwagon with Spencer. Well, he's a tough football player, and Jimmy's kind of a tough guy, too. So you guys were hard on these drivers, but nonetheless, it was Kevin Harvick who took home the big prize, the first big prize of the evening with the Penzoil Victory Challenge, all in good fun, and we have a lot more fun coming up later on tonight as we get ready for the 25th All-Star Race. On Thursday, Rec returns to speed when motorists wreak havoc in the heart of the Windy City. Only one company can bring Chicago back to life. This season, get hooked all over again. Wrecked. Life in the Crash Lane. The new season premieres Thursday only on Speed. And we now have Judge Jimmy Spencer back with us here in our new location here high atop of the pit lane. And you know what? There's just a great feeling about this race. This is a perfect time to be down here because some of the stars of NASCAR for the Showdown are already taking their places near driver introductions.
Well, I think the big thing about this race is, and we've heard it all the whole show, there's not a lot of pressure on these guys. No points. It doesn't mean anything except the pride of winning the Sprint Cup tonight and the $1 million. And that's why I think it's such a relaxed atmosphere here in the garage area, Johnny.
And one of our most relaxed members of our panel here on NASCAR Race Day is Hermie Sadler. Hermie, tell us what's happening.
Well, I'm catching up with Bill Elliott back for another All-Star race, and he won this thing in '86, so it's time for another one.
Yeah, that's been a few years ago. Any way you look at it, Hermie, I mean, it was fun back then. I almost won it here in '87, and, you know, I'll never forget the comment Earnhardt made, said I wrecked the 5-car down there in turn 1. He tried to wreck me, and I thought, well, I just didn't try hard enough. But we had a good time. It's a great fan event, and, you know, we'll just get in here and see what we can do. And for us, it'll be a good learning experience for next week.
Tell us about the Showdown. Only 40 laps. I mean, you got to get it done in a hurry with these cars. Tell us, have you guys talked about strategy? How are you going to get yourself to the front and get in contention?
I don't think anybody's got any strategy. I think it's just going to get in, buckle up, and do the best you can. I mean, if your car will do it, you're going to do it. If not, you're not. I mean, that's just going to be plain and simple. And I mean, if you can worm your way into the All-Star race, I think you've got an advantage over those guys by a little bit. I'm going to tell you what, these guys are loaded for bear this week, though.
A lot of guys trying to get in the All-Star race. Good to see Bill Elliott back at the racetrack. Wendy?
Thanks, Hermie. I'm in the garage area, and things are really heating up, and especially when we're night racing. Now, keep in mind, when we were at Phoenix, we talked about the helmets that these guys use. If you look back at the B-roll, I showed this helmet with the LED flashlights. That was Ira Joe's helmet on the 20 team. We turned them on. That's great for night racing so they could see in the wheel wells. Well, here we are 4 races later, and a new technology has come out. Clay Apple actually saw NASCAR Race Day with Cosmic LED, and he has come up with a new concept that the 20 team and many other teams will be using tonight on pit road. When I click on the light, there you go. There's 12 LED lights on each side and 48 LED lights on the top. They're calling it Visor Vision. It's a new concept and a new technology in NASCAR that will be used for the All-Star race tonight. I've heard from all these guys that have been testing it out, it is clearly much brighter. Difference between day and night, haha, they said. So this is the helmets that Stuart Haas Racing guys will be using, Joe Gibbs Racing guys will be using, many of them on pit road. But the new concept just 4 races ago did not exist. Johnny?
That's pretty cool. Wendy, that's a great idea. Great innovation there.
I could use that when I lose my car keys.
Plus, it's bright.
I don't think they make one big enough, Jimmy. All right, let's now time for fantasy picks. As we get ready to go, we're in honor of Humpy Wheeler, we are going to reverse our standings. So Jimmy Spencer, 490 points out. It's all or nothing here, by the way. 50 for the All-Star winner, so 25 to get the advancer from the Showdown.
The first guy I picked, and I picked him back at Richmond, and I picked him all year. The All-Star winner will be the 18 M&M's car. We already saw him in the Penzoil burnout, hit the wall. He got that out of his system. Look out. The Toyota engine's going to hold together tonight. The M&M's are all going to be working together. Kyle Busch will win. And in the Showdown pick, you heard Hermie Sadler say it.
Sam Hornish.
Sam Hornish. Thanks, Kenny.
That's right, baby.
Sam Hornish in the 77 Mobil 1 Dodge. Johnny.
All right, now this is kind of fun for me and Jimmy to get to go first here. It doesn't happen very often. We inverted our order. But, you know, I think there's a couple guys out there that are really hungry and are really going to be able to make it up to the front. First of all, Carl Edwards is going to drive his rear end off tonight. This is his kind of race. And also, if anybody can get it done, he won the Showdown last year. A.J. Allmendinger knows what it's like to be in this All-Star event. He's told us all week long how exciting he was, and he, too, will drive his rear end off. There's not going to be any left. Once he gets up there, he's going to advance his way into the All-Star race.
A.J. pulled my finger.
A.J., yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Wendy.
All right, my 2 picks, we've talked to both of these guys tonight. For the All-Star, I'm going with Jimmy Johnson. He has 2 All-Star victories. He knows how to get the job done here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. And the dueling home improvement, I'm picking Joey Logano to win the All-Star Showdown. He will race his way in, will not have to rely on the fan vote. Joey Logano will be in his All-Star race for his rookie year and maybe make history tonight.
Well, Wendy, I'm going with the guy who's got momentum on his side right now, and that is the kid Martin, as Kenny Wallace likes to say. He will win tonight's All-Star race. And for the Showdown, a guy who's transferred before, been running really well and kind of under the radar, Martin Truex Jr. will advance out of the Showdown. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, Hermie, I like you a lot. You know why? Because my name's Herm the Worm Weaver and you're Hermie, so we're kind of brothers. But I'm going with some Hoosiers. No, not country people. I'm talking boys from Indiana. In the Showdown, the winner is going to be David Stremme. Why? Because David Stremme is a good friend of mine. He lets me use his cool down, keeps my head clean. I can't afford to buy a cool down unit, and Stremme lets me use the cool down unit. all
Keeps
year
your head
long.
clean.
I love you,
Yes,
Kenny.
keeps it
You're my
cool. So
buddy.
anyway, the winner will be the Rushville Rocket for
Good
the All-Star race. Tony Stewart, the Rushville Rocket, another Indiana boy.
All right, so there you have it. 75 points on the line for our fantasy standings here, and some of us really could use every point as possible. Kenny Wallace got the 12 to advance from the Showdown. Hermie's got the 1, 20, 44. Then here's our winners from the All-Star race. 14, 5, 48, 99, and 18 for Spencer. We'll see who can pull it off and get the big $1 million prize in the end.
Next week, we celebrate the long weekend with the season's longest race. Casey used his all-star win to propel him to a 600 victory last May. Can he defend his crown? Live from Charlotte, NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. Visit homedepot.com/spring. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and by Sprint. For more Sprint Cup Series, go to sprint.com/speed.
If you are a true race fan, you have come to the right place, the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And tonight we want to tell you can ride along with up to 4 drivers during the All-Star race for the ultimate 2-screen experience. Log on to speedtv.com or NASCAR.com during the race for the Speed All-Star Buddy. Now, it has been a quarter of a century since we started this All-Star race, and it's only gotten better each year. And speaking of getting better with age, let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Hey, I got Brian Vickers standing by for this Showdown. You know, 40 laps, you could have done a little bit better job on your qualifying run. You wouldn't have so far to go.
Yeah, I know. I really did a bad job, didn't I? You know, starting 31st is going to be really tough with 40 laps. It's you know, with everything, with the way the qualifying order is, you kind of just want to just back up and just kind of see what happens. It's going to be exciting going off the first turn, to say the least. But, you know, with 40 laps, I don't think you can. You know, I mean, if you lifted for 5 laps, you're going to have to pass 1 car a lap. And I just don't know if that's possible.
It's actually going to be the opposite of next week's race. When the green flag goes, you got to pass as many as you can on the get-go, I would assume.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, I think you're going to see probably 3 or 4 wide, maybe 5 coming out of turn 2. Everybody's kind of in the same boat. You know, you got to be smart. You have to be there at the end. You have to be there on the final lap to win it. But that being said, starting 31st, you got to go.
31st to 2nd in 40 laps would be pretty good for this guy, Wendy.
AJ Allmendinger was fastest in the Showdown practice. He will start 10th because that's how you guys picked for qualifying, unfortunately. But how's your race car? Are you going to be able to pick through those guys and get to the front because we know your car's fast?
Not sure. You know, in race trim, we were struggling a little bit in that qualifying lap. Not really sure kind of how we got that. But the Hunt Brothers Pizza Dodge, you know, we put a lot of work into it. And all we can go out there is have fun and drive the wheels off and see what we got.
And if all else fails, there's the fan vote. Your wife, Lynn, has had that T-shirt on. I'm not sure she's washed it. She's worn it so much. Vote for my hubby, it says.
A lot of body spray she's been using. A lot of body spray. But, yeah, I've done everything I can. I've used every part of my family I can. Every trick in the book, even tricks not in the book, to try to get the fan vote. So if I get it, thank you. If not, that's disappointing because we worked way too hard to get it.
All right, AJ Allmendinger. Otherwise, we'll race his way in. Hermie?
Yeah, these guys are all squeaking out of the same bottle, so I'll get to them in a minute. Jamie, I told Brian, hey, AJ, 40 laps, good qualifying run for you, too.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm assuming they'll change that rule next year. It seems awful odd that they're starting by the qualifying draw. But I drew 1 and 2 the last 2 weeks, but I drew 30 this week, so it didn't work out. But our Crown Royal Ford Fusion drives really good. I felt like we maybe had one of the best cars in practice, but it will be very interesting with the difference in speed in some of the cars here.
Well, good luck to you. Slipping over to Michael Waltrip. He won't be quiet long enough to talk. Appreciate you fixing your hair for tonight's occasion.
Don't be talking about anybody's hair with that, what you got going on up there. What's this kind of, is that retreating?
I'm aerodynamics. I'm not sure what you got, but how's your car?
It's good.
And how's Elliot's Coke?
Elliot's Coke is good. We're sharing. We're swigging out of the same bottle. Don't ever say that about us again.
I'll never say that about you again. Now, how's your car? I know the same instance with Jamie, not too good of a draw for qualifying, but car looked pretty good in practice.
Yeah, car's driving good, but we're just talking about that we've never really started this far back in a Consi race before, so we don't know really what this strategy is going to be. But
this is a hooligan race.
The hooligan race. We're starting a pro 27th or 28th, so we really think we got a great chance tonight.
And my only advice to you is don't try to bump draft your way to the front, Wendy.
Did he just drink out of Michael Waltrip's? Never mind, I'm not sure. Juan Pablo Montoya, the showdown is about to begin, and it seems like everyone's smiling and really laid back because you have nothing but a win on the line.
It's kind of interesting. I think for us, you know, we're taking the approach if we make it great. I think we've got a good car, good enough car to make it. But you know, everybody's a little bit out of control in this race. So you never know what's going to happen. I think it's very important for us to really get an idea, you know, for the whole Target Chevy team of what the car is going to do next week. You know, I think points are a big thing for us right now.
What do you think about that fan vote? Because people from Colombia should be getting triple vote counts.
I do agree. Anybody from outside the U.S. that votes, you should get more. I guarantee you should get more votes, but we'll see.
All right, Juan Pablo Montoya, let's head over to Herbie Sadler.
Well, thanks, Wendy. Got Martin Truex Jr. I picked you to transfer through this race the hard way by winning and finishing second. How'd you call it?
That was pretty good, yeah. The Bass Pro Chevy was all right yesterday. We were, I think, second quick, and the car wasn't driving great, but it seemed like our times were pretty good. So a lot of people fighting tight here this weekend, and we were tight too. But I think with it cooling off, it ought to help a little bit, and I think our car will be pretty good.
Tell us what we're going to see with 30-plus race cars. First to second is the only thing that counts, and only 40 laps to do it. Should be fairly interesting, I would say.
I think with the, you know, with qualifying getting rained out and the way the field is mixed up, you know, with fast cars being towards the back and all throughout the field, that it's going to be hairy. I think the first few laps is going to be wild, 4 or 5. Nemechek thinks it's going to go 6 wide into 1, so it ought to be interesting. I'm glad I'm towards the front, and hopefully we can keep our car in one piece and be around at the end of 40 laps.
6 wide in turn 1 sounds fun, huh, Wendy?
David Stremme looks a little stressed out, according to Juan Pablo Montoya. You have a very serious look on your face. You have a lot at stake today.
No, it's just we got a good starting spot, so I want to make sure we get the number 12 in this All-Star. We've got a good car, but you never know what can happen in these things. That's what's crazy. So just trying to make sure I don't screw up anything. But Juan Pablo, I remember 2 years ago, he got a little wild at the start, so he might need to worry a little bit on himself. But this is going to be a pretty crazy race, and we'll just see how it ends up.
All right, David Stremme starts third. Johnny?
Family, friends, and fans. That's what this night is all about. The best NASCAR has to offer under the lights in an all-out shootout. And in the end, someone's going to walk away with $1 million. We've had a lot of fun so far, but it's all just begun here on Speed. Keep it right here. It's All-Star Night on Speed.
Bring home the trophy, or you bring home your steering wheel.
It is All-Star Night in Charlotte, North Carolina at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It just doesn't get much bigger than this.
Let's go to the stage. Look at all these people. Montgomery Gentry are up there playing right now. This place is crazy. I wish everybody was here. The All-Star race, we pull out all the stops. I thought that was pathetic.
A lot of trash talking.
He is an old guy, so I'm not picking on him. I'm telling like it is.
It's great to see DW out there, though. I loved it.
Back to you, John and Ken.
Very. Carl, he showed no favoritism.
I think it was terrible. He never mentioned my name.
Are you the one that killed my friend?